Good morning, everybody. A little bit of a different intro there, as this is going to be our relaunch of Legion's class. So, this is going to be a little bit different format than what we've done previously, especially since this is, again, another special episode, being that it is the Figure Obscura Christmas launch 2024. We're going to say Christmas launch just because of the time of the year and pretty much what we're all sure this one is. But this morning's live is going to be a little bit different than what we would normally do for a Clubhouse Cafe format. Does not change that both myself and our good friend Payne's Toy Samples are here, and we're enjoying a nice warm beverage in the morning, or at least I am. I'm pretty sure Payne is.
Cold orange water.
Which So, okay, he's drinking cold water. He left it sitting outside so it would get nice and chilly for him.
Yeah. There you go.
And I myself am not running on all cylinders. But, that was the reason for the new intro there, which that music is just something standard with StreamYard. Brick sent me over a lot of great elements last night. Thank you to him. He is not here with us at the moment, but he will be joining us shortly. He worked his butt off yesterday on his return trip home to get all of these elements together before we were doing the show this morning, and he did an amazing job. So this morning, what we're going to do, we are going to try to run over a brief history of Figura Obscura. And I say brief because it's only been around for the last couple of years, and there hasn't been too many releases. So we're going to kind of go over what that is, or what those releases were, and what Figura Obscura is, because it's not your typical toy line. So the main breakdown of Figura Obscura is that they are taking properties that are within the public domain. Okay, so nobody's got to pay licensing or anything like that for these characters that they do. Typically, it's somewhere in literary works, but they've also done some folklore as well. And they tend to release one every year at around this time. And normally they throw in a little extra with these ones. They'll also do one a little bit before this, because it just seems like not too long ago we had a release for Figura Obscura. And that's kind of been a theme where they do specific timed releases. I know with this release, I was just saying last week. So, guys, it's either going to be this weekend or the following weekend, because... Sorry, there had another alarm going off. You can tell I'm totally prepared for all this morning. But
it's early.
It's early, even for a clubhouse. It's early. I mean, normally I'm up this early, but I'm not live talking in front of an audience. So
yeah, no. The brain-mouth connection is not solidified yet.
Yeah, I have not had nearly the amount of nicotine that I would normally do before this. My two major food groups are caffeine and nicotine, and I've only had a little bit of each. But that's okay, because we're going to have some fun here. So yes, they do timed releases throughout the year for Figura Obscura, and the pattern that we've seemed to have come across is they'll do one like early spring, springtime, then they'll do another one in September going into October, and then they do this one at the very, very end of November going into December. And I looked at the last couple of years, what their release dates were for Figura Obscura, and I'd been like, oh man, it's either going to be this weekend or next weekend. And we had a little discussion amongst some of the Clubhouse guys. We're like, there's no way they'd do it this weekend. They've got so much stuff going on, between the retail appreciation wave, which has all three of the Figura Obscuras that were released last year in their alternate colorways. We've got a dragon coming up. We've got the pre-order for the Reign of the Beast wave going on. and it's Black Friday, which most people are running out buying all kinds of stuff for everybody else, supposedly everybody else. A lot of times it's ourselves too.
Exactly. Everybody.
I mean, that's just the way of it. So we were like, yeah, it'll be next weekend. It'll be next weekend. And the first thing that I woke up to yesterday.
It's a bit of a crunch time. That's sure.
It definitely is. The money has gotten
plotted that right and true Legions fans. They're probably tapped out.
I gotta say, yeah, a lot of us just went and spent. I'm still in recovery from Legions Con. I'm still in recovery. But they dropped this on us yesterday, and it says, "Rise and walk with me to a new Figura Obscura." So in the next, at 9 a.m., they're going to be doing their release for new Figura Obscura, which gives us a little over an hour to kind of talk about the history here. So the history of Figura Obscura is, again, they take a character from public domain that there are no property ties to anyone specific, and they kind of do their version of it. And so what typically happens with that is that they stick very closely to the literary description of that character, not so much if there's been a movie about it or something of that nature. And then, of course, Eric Treadaway always does an amazing job of getting us that sculpt out, and it's great to see. So we're going to go through, we're going to look at some of the previous Figura Obscuras and just talk about those. But before we do that, since we've actually got some people showing up here, let's say hello to everybody who's in the chat with us this morning. We've got Speaking Moistly in the house saying, good morning. What's going on, Moistly? And he says, this is way too early. I'm going to need some coffee. That's the whole idea. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and join us. We've got K-Roll in the house. Says, coffee makes me sleepy. It's my comfort beverage too, but I'm still here. We've got Duchess of Darkness hanging out with us. Duchess, thank you for being here. I know it's early over on your coast. Same as Speaking Moistly. You guys are all Pacific time. And then we got this guy right here, Greg, formerly the Brute Scale, total Ogre Scale. It's still one of my favorite selfies to show off from Legions Con because I'm not a small guy. I'm not small in stature and height. And I'm certainly not small. I'm pretty fat. But, I got a picture with him, and he's towering over. It's like when Punk stands next to me, and Greg's all the way up here. So it's good to have you here, brother.
Like
and
me standing
Greg,
next to my 6'4" son.
Right. That's what it looks like. There's not many people that can make me feel tiny, and Greg totally does. But it's good to see you, brother. And now, filing in, we've got Matthew Matson with us as well this morning. Jason's Electric is here. And we have Andrew Davis saying, who's eating turkey for breakfast? I will actually be eating turkey later this afternoon, not this morning, because my family hasn't done Thanksgiving dinner yet. We're doing that today, which is one of the reasons why I didn't think I was going to be doing a stream tonight. But it's Figura Obscura. We got traditions on this channel, and one of those is that we double up on the streams for the Figura Obscura drops, no matter how much that takes a toll on me. We're going to make it happen. And Madsen also saying caffeine makes me sleepy. There's a lot of us that it does that to, especially if we've had an overload of caffeine in our life, which I definitely have. But it's part of that morning routine, and I'm stuck in my routine. So, gotta have my coffee. All right. At one point in time, I used to know how to do all this stuff here.
It happens. Brain isn't clicked in yet. It's fine.
Yeah. No, it really, really hasn't. Also, not being able to find Oh, wow. That's interesting. Huh.
But
There we go. Now it'll work. All right. So it wasn't showing this particular tabbed box.
yeah.
So now these are all put in the order that they were released, right? So we have the exact timeline of what came out. The very first figure obscura that came out was the Krampus. Came out right around this time, 2 years ago at this point, or was it? No, it would have been 3 because it would have been at the tail
Probably.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the tail end here. So, although this was not the first one, yeah, this one was definitely before you were collecting. We've got Ray Paz in the house. What's going on, Ray? Saying morning, Brick. Brick is not here yet. This is simulcast from my channel and Brick's channel. So if you're in Brick's chat and you're wondering why, there's not as many people, or you see me flash up some chats, Ray, that are not in the chat with you, it's because of the simulcast. So just want to give you that heads up. Don't feel like you're sitting over there all by yourself. I know actually Greg himself was from over there as well. All right. So many of you know kind of what a Krampus is. It's basically a Christmas demon, but it's really cool. If you go to the Source Horseman, you get the full breakdown and the history of it here. They talk a little bit more about how they did the Krampus. The first initial release was this beautiful all black demon thing. It was great. And because it was a Christmas release, they stuffed some extra goodies in the basket that you didn't know about that you don't see displayed here. Is in this beautiful box. This was actually the second figure obscura that I picked up because I managed to snag this off the table at Legion's Con. No, not Legion's Con, PowerCon. It was PowerCon when I picked this one up. And like for all of their figure obscuras, they put out a mug, you get a new pin, they do some apparel. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And what they do the following year, they put out a retail version of this because the initial one is not something that their retailers are going to carry. That is exclusively the Four Horsemen. So the Four Horsemen get this version. And then they got this brighter red demon here, a little bit more vibrant looking. I know Madsen's saying that he likes the red one best. And also, has anyone seen red one? Last time I checked, these were still available on that big bad toy store we don't like talking about too much. You can. Oh, no. I've totally not seen that one. And Greg switched over saying he's here now with the chat. All right, brother. That's always good. You know, it's weird. For some reason, StreamYard, it can't combine the chats. Even though it does it back here for us, it combines them. It doesn't combine them for you guys, but I don't know. For the amount that StreamYard's having us pay now, you'd think they should jump on that. Go ahead, Aaron.
They missed enough. Yeah, they missed an. I think the Horseman missed an opportunity. You need a small child to go inside. I'm just saying.
If you want to charge me more, give me a couple extra features, and I might not mind it as much as you just being a outright charging me more. So
gave you nothing new. Oh wait, 1080p. That's right.
Ooh. For everybody watching on their phone
really
screen.
Need to see my face in 1080p. I'm just saying.
Especially this early in the morning.
Let's be honest.
Not all of us have as perfect hair as Brick this early.
No, he's ridiculous. I don't know how he works that.
All right. So, Greg's mentioning here, he thought he was still baked from last night. I've been there before, brother. Been there before. Madsen saying, in red one, Krampus is Santa's brother. That's unique. And Rolando Flores, what is up, my friend? Good to have you here. Put short round in the backpack, or Kevin McAllister said. Well, that's not entirely inaccurate, because those hands that came with this pack were children's hands. Little creepy thing. But this is basically everything that came up to it. That you had the classic Switch. You got some sleigh bells going on, and a couple sets of hand changes, couple skulls. Like I said, the children's hands inside. So it's a pretty cool pack. But this was their first figure obscura that they put out, and again, amazing artwork by Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter. He's actually going to be going live in just a couple of minutes himself over on his channel. So if for some reason I'm boring you this early in the morning, you can always go check out his stuff. But we tend to have a little bit more fun here. So to my knowledge, this was actually the first planned figure obscura, but there were some delays, which is why this did not come out first. Had to wait almost a whole year for this bad boy. This is the Headless Horseman. This is what got me started down the Mythic Legions rabbit hole, because once I had this figure in hand, I was just like, this is so brilliant. Absolutely amazing figure. I love this shot here. And the packaging, again, that beautiful Nate bar chart that you can take out and you kind of open up. And so, I mean, it's no wonder they kind of wanted this to be the launch of the line, but think about how disappointing everything after would have been. Because this was a great package.
The packaging on the Figura Obscura is honestly, it's the best packaging that I've seen in really any action figure line, just because the way it set it up by itself. Some of it can be even included in a dio. I mean, it's
right?
Pretty versatile.
I got to agree with you. The packaging that they do for the Figura Obscura, I've started getting rid of. I used to keep all the packaging for all my figures and stuff like that. Now I get rid of all of it except for two lines: Figura Obscura and the Jada Toys cereal. And the reason I say Jada Toys cereal and not just cereal monsters is because we know we got Tony the Tiger and Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble coming up. So I'm not just going to have the cereal monsters. I'm going to end up getting all of them. So again, this was the second one that they released. This figure polarized me, and I was disappointed because I wasn't working and I didn't have a way to get it. Many of you know the tale. Sean Scavarna, he was the one that pulled me in, helped me obtain this figure, and started me down this rabbit hole. And it's been one of the most beautiful journeys ever. Also, I got his name up here, and I didn't even come back to it to say hello. Joe G Customs in the house. Joe Gonzalez. If you got a problem, Joe Gonzalez it. He will be joining us here shortly. He had a little bit of a mishap this morning, but he is excited that he actually gets. He is not working on a Figura Obscura release day, so he's going to be joining us today, as well as many other streams throughout the day. He's basically going to pull almost like a 24-hour marathon across different channels throughout the day here. Way to go, Joe. Love you, brother. And this right here too. This was just cool. The alteration of the Figura Obscura logo with the little jack-o'-lantern at the bottom was real neat. And then, of course, we see the popular glow-in-the-dark green variant with the purple on this one. That was the retail exclusive one. Another great thing. And again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the backstory. A lot of you may know the backstory on these. It might be something I do in the future as part of Legion's class, but I mean, really, if you guys want to know, go pick up a book. I encourage you to read if you know how. If you don't, you should learn. All right. So after we had that beautiful Headless Horseman that very year, we got this guy. And this was the first Figura Obscura that I started to get involved right around the time this guy came out, and it was great. Again, they did a whole nother Christmas thing, and this time it was Father Christmas, goes by many different names. They went with this kind of classic look of Father Christmas. Again, that beautiful Nate Barch art. I will say though, this right here kind of reminded me of the Teletubbies sun baby smile in the sky. Still, just he's watching you, right? Right? We know he's watching you. He's creepy. He's a voyeur. He does that.
Yeah, there's nothing creepy about that at all, right?
Right. But again, just an outstanding figure here. A lot of great accessories with this one too. This was the first time I got clued into the fact that there's, they do some little hidden stuff like what was inside the sack. You had all this stuff out here, but didn't know what came in the sack. So that was kind of neat, finding out what that was. And of course, with this one, it was 2 silver helmets they called Silver Bells. Got a different styled mug this time around. Again, another pin. And another cool thing that they do is that they put a Christmas card, or at least this time around, they put a Christmas card with it, which is a tradition that we're going to see that continued even last year. And this, again, your retail variant here, where he was a little bit more green. He had a brown beard on the main head. They put a little snow frosting on the tree, and they changed the color up of some of the other accessories that came with it. So again, this was really, really cool. All right, Headless Horseman was also in Red 1. Also, Headless Horseman was what sold me on the line. I had a Skeleton Legion builder first. Yeah, it's another great one, right? Like, Legion builders are all good. Just because they're price point for the most part. If you're looking for something to just get started in, it's a good way to get in. And Fat Red Foo is here saying, "Morning, Chuckleheads." What's going on, Fat Red Foo? So again, this was their secondary release that we got last year when they did their retailer appreciation wave. Was super psyched to get this one. I love that green robe that comes with this one. It's really good. And you don't have to get both versions of each one, folks. It's just I saw an opportunity where I could be a completist on a 4 horseman line, and I took it. I also blame Joe, because at the time I hadn't picked up Red Krampus yet. And then Joe helped me get the Red Krampus. And you know what? After that, I was like, yeah, okay. I got Red Krampus. I'm going to be 100%. 100% when it comes to Figura Obscura, which is why I'm like, oh, it's unfortunate. Oh, Aaron, could you do me a favor? Because I believe you have it.
Yes.
Can you send John Emerald Knight Ed's address? I'm pretty sure you got Ed's address. No.
Yeah.
Ed's address. I don't know if I have it. And I know Ed is currently on his way to the mountains, so I don't know if he will get a text. If you could, I'm going to tell him you're sending that.
I have to find it. I have everybody's address on a Word document, so
I appreciate you, brother. Like I said, I know you had sent stuff to him before, so if not, I was just going to yell at Ed and Aaron and be like, you got to release customer info. It's important. Fat Red Foo saying it's 6 a.m. just rolled out of bed, right? Roll out of bed, go into Clubhouse. A couple nights ago, you probably went to bed to a Clubhouse. It's haunting. It's really kind of scary, isn't it? Lone Dragon says, woo, almost time to spend some monies. Agreed. And Joe saying, I'm an enabler. Yes, you are, sir, and a hardcore one at that, but I ain't mad at you. People say the same thing about me. All right, so here we've got Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, the main protagonist of the book Journey to the West. And again, this was nobody saw this guy coming. Nobody. A lot of people were speculating all kinds of stuff. And it was great, right? It was the first time we saw a lot of these pieces. Well, we still haven't seen any. Go ahead, Aaron.
This was my first one. This was the one that made me get it. Of course, anthropomorphic animals. Pretty much a guarantee that I'm Thundercats kid. So, anything that's an anthropomorphic animal, you're pretty much going to sell me on.
Right. This was also the first time we saw something that wasn't necessarily like holiday themed. And some people might say, well, the Headless Horseman's not holiday themed. And it's like, well, it kind of symbolizes everything. Like, it's so associated with Halloween itself now. You try to tell me it's not holiday themed.
Yeah. I mean, the old Disney cartoon, those kind of things.
The jack-o'-lantern for a head
came out around, Halloween time for Tim Burton's version. So it's tied to that. But this concept, so that's the other thing too. You're looking at an Eastern concept, which is totally different than, European
right
or American.
This was that first, right? The first, foray into something different. And I gotta say, it blew me out of the water. I love Journey to the West. I was influenced by like Dragon Ball as a kid, and that got me to read Journey to the West and everything else, finding out that, the character Goku was based off of or inspired by Sun Wukong himself. And absolutely love the book.
It's called Son Goku. So,
and this was such a great figure. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, it's in the Japanese.
Yep.
So
the reason he's got the power pole, the reason he rides the Nimbus cloud, the tail, like it's all based from right here.
Yeah.
Now again, it was a really cool figure. They put a lot of like new parts. Like we started to get the swappable face plates with this that we hadn't seen from a Figure Obscura yet, that we hadn't even really seen with their main characters, because we're getting that in the Necronominus wave, which is about to release. Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah, I finally got my screaming monkey head. I needed my screaming monkey head.
Yeah.
So.
And this was a great face. This one right here totally captivated me again. It was an instant, I need this in my life. So totally grab this one. It's great. Now you've got, this is the current, just released yesterday, Golden Sun Wukong, or some of us have said, because again, that idea of it, being so similar to Son Goku, Super Saiyan or Golden Azoru Monkey King, which is great. Absolutely great. Then we had the surprise drop.
I love the
the Sun Wukong box.
Just the art on the inside. Yes, the inside of that art box is beautiful.
Actually, I think this was the first one they didn't really show that inside art as much as they did the other ones.
They didn't show all of it, but
you kind of see it here. So like on the other entries, they basically showed you the entire inside piece, the magnetic cover, and this is the first one they didn't. But, and again, more photos from our good friend Trevor Williams, and he should be joining us later tonight around the time we do the second drop party. He's got a busy day of streaming too. But yeah, it's gorgeous. And again, Nate Barch's art is like the perfect complement to everything else that goes on this line. All right. And we got some more people rolling in. Looks like we have Hoth the Basher saying, "Good morning. What's going on, Hoth?" Again, I know you're over on Brick's channel. If you're wondering where everybody is in the chat, it's because we're simulcasting. You know what? That was strictly for the animation, but sure, why not? Fat Red Foo saying, if you guys like the Headless Horseman, there is a book series that was written that is contemporary called the Jason Crane series. And yes, I actually am enjoying that series. I've been getting it on Audible. They're up to like book 4, I believe, at this point. Certainly different, that's for sure. I really like Sun Wukong in Raid Shadow Legends. He's really good, and I get to yell, "The monkey spanks you," every time he wins me a battle. Well, there you go. Speaking of Raid Shadow Legends, He-Man and Skeletor are in it now. That just happened.
I know. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, he did. So good. So cool. All right. So this one here this was another big one for me. Like up until this point, with the exception of Krampus, like each and every one of these releases for Figure Obscura really hit home to me. And this one quite literally hit closest to home. Mask of the Red Death. You know, I'm sure there was a lot of people out there who, unless you're big horror literary fans, did not know what the Mask of the Red Death was. So for those of you who don't know, The Red Death, short story by Edgar Allan Poe. Again, I'm not going to go into depth about the story. If you want to know the story, I got the book. However, they did something really cool with this release that they hadn't done with previous releases. This was the first time they actually gave us a little book, like a mini comic for all you Motu fans, in with the release. So they're still evolving the format of how they do Figure Obscura, which is cool to see. But yeah, so they come with a little book now that gives you a little bit more info about the work and such that, you know, the figure comes from. And again, they always go over the top with the accessories on this one. Now, with Mask of the Red Death, you did not have a lot of like normal accessories that we get for most of their figures, but we got this gorgeously sculpted clock. A lot of hidden compartments. You could totally put your weed in there. And like stuff like this too, like a little nod with the raven on top of the clock. Again, another one of Edgar Allan Poe's works. And me being from Baltimore, this was a big deal to me.
You get the lovely blood stain for the floor, which,
right,
you know, for those photographers out there,
it's a great piece. Yeah. I just about all of John's shots that he does, you know, Emerald Knight photos, he manages to work this clock into the background somewhere, which is always good. In the original movie, Vincent Price, he did play, well, multiple characters in the movie, but really, really great version of this. Again, for those of you who don't want to read the book, you can go watch the movie. The movie is a bit different, but still really fun to watch. And then again, for those of you who really like the horror programs that Netflix puts on, the one they did the same year this came out, also released an episode called Mask of the Red Death, because all of it was the series was called Fall of the House of Usher, and all of the episodes another short story by Edgar Allan Poe. So again, this one meant a lot to me. It was a big deal. I think this was also the first one that I got for Bud too that year.
Yeah.
Got this one for Bud and for John, actually. But again, just overall stunning figure. And we've got the retail exclusive one now, which is just basically they've reversed the colors. They added a lot of intricate paint detail. to the clock, which is really, really cool because it stands out even better. You could take the raven off the top of the clock if you didn't want it on there, which is another cool feature. Again, little parts of the insert for the book. This was that beautiful Nate Barch art. Oh, man, do they look good. This has to deal with all the different doors. There's different colored windows and stuff in the story. And they all have different masks. And again, that's just a beautiful representation of that. And like before, we got the merch. You got your mug, you got your pin, you got your shirt. I do love these pins.
Oh, yes, you do.
All right. I still got to pick up some. That brings us to last year's Christmas drop, which will kind of lead us into this year's as well. We had the amazing, from the Christmas Carol, we had the Ghost of Jacob Marley. Again, a real stunning drop. Look, you can even see they're already reusing that clock in Trevor's photos here. Gave us a lot of really cool pieces here. The fade to translucency at the bottom with this figure was great. The extras again that come with it. I think this probably had like the most extras out of anything.
Yeah, it has a ridiculous amount. It really does. But it's cool stuff. You get the knockers, you get the special headings and the safe.
Right? You got all these little toolboxes. Yeah.
The keys. Yeah, it's a value for what you're paying for it. So that one is actually
huge.
Yeah.
And again, came with a little book with excerpts from A Christmas Carol. The packaging, again, here we could see the inside of that insert with Scrooge freaking out, which was great. Did some other cool stuff right here. Like, all right, so here's some cool things. All of these ghosts are actually kind of based off of Horseman employees. Got a little George Gaspar here. This one right back here, that guy, he might not be in the chat anymore now that Trevor's gone live, but formerly Brute Scale Greg, this is him right here, as a matter of fact, in the artwork, which is cool. So again, just really neat to have that. Jeremy was a ghost as well. It was cool to see them do that. Had the usual props, happy holidays card. We got the shirts, we got the mugs, we got the pin. And the pin itself was kind of even a slight nod to the color change for the retail exclusive. This guy right here, this hauntingly blue Jacob Marley is what they're calling him. Very cool. Gives a lot of the... All right. Well, thank you for being in the shower and still watching us, Greg. Appreciate it. Everybody can think about that now while they're watching this show. Greg's in the shower.
There are some images I don't need in my head. Thanks so much for that one, Greg.
It's just how we go. So originally this was going to be advertised as glow in the dark. Unfortunately, there was miscommunication with the factory and he does not glow. He's still got amazing paint job, very reminiscent of the Haunted Mansion. You get a chance, for those of you who didn't pick it up, to see the alternate head that was in the safe here, which is still really cool. Looks amazing on one of these later Figura Obscura drops that we're going to go over that came out this year. But again, one of the most stunning figures that they put out through Figura Obscura. All right. Now, for this year's lineup, we've already had this amazing 2-pack, The Gods of Ancient Egypt. Got Bastet and Anubis. And again, for me, big fan of Egyptology, so this was a no-brainer when it came out. Had to get these guys. They're gorgeous figures. And we already saw that they're starting to put back like these paw prints and the paws that they put in with these guys to use even though they are not the same as the ones that we're going to see on that upcoming wave, but that's like they started to do that animalistic sculpting for feet and hands, which was kind of cool. Both of these figures fully loaded with the fully loaded with accessories. Stunningly gorgeous overall. You had two looks where one was more like a statue and one was more of a monster, which was kind of neat. I don't like using that term monster for a god, but I mean, it's really the best way I can describe
jars,
Oh my
lots of
gosh,
little
yeah.
touches there.
Right? Like all the little like museum pieces and stuff like that that came with it. It was just stunning figure. Stunning 2-pack. They were only released as a 2-pack. And again, here you see the lineup. Got the mug, shirts, pins. There's something always just so extra special about the Figure Obscura release because it's not a whole wave. It's a singular figure. So they really jazz it up and do these special launches. Which leads us to the most recent Figure Obscura that came out that a lot of people loved. Frankenstein's creature. Hands down, just again, one of the best releases they've done to date. This guy right here.
They re-upped the accessories quite a bit for that one too. I mean, let's be
right?
honest.
And the value that this one was, because with everything that you got, and right, and again, the price they put it out, like the price that they put it out, and gave you all this stuff. And again, I've seen people using the tables, the little trays, all of this stuff. I've seen people already reusing in photo shots. The sculpt of the creature himself is beyond incredible. These elongated arms, legs, like they really truly made this guy very monstrous. And again, just like I said about that last pin set, this guy right here, this pin looks a little more yellow, like a yellowish green and a little bit more purple. I kind of have a feeling that we're probably going to see a yellow and purple version for a retail exclusive. All you hella dope fans, keep that in mind. Going to be that yellow and purple. So again, a really great release right here. Stunning, a character that is within the public domain. They certainly went with the book and literary accurate version of the character, which is one of the things they're going to do. And that kind of brings us back to where we're at today. So they announced yesterday, and I already showed it at the top of the stream, that we are going to be doing a release, and that specific quote that they said, "Rise and walk with me to a new Figure Obscura." It's a very telling line. It's a direct quote from the book. So it's basically the first line that gets said to him by Ghost of Christmas Past from A Christmas Carol. And people have speculated all kinds of things. And Jesse was the one that reminded me too, because I was saying it would be really cool if they did like, fairy wings and all like that. And I was thinking kind of that Scrooge version, or Scrooged version of it, should I say. One of my favorite versions of A Christmas Carol is Scrooged. So this, I was thinking might be cool if they did something like that. But Jesse, just shelve it, reminded me that it's going to be like close to the literary thing, which the literary description is quite a bit different. It's a little bit of a smaller ghost, almost childlike. Depending on which literary version you get, it can be quite a bit different.
It'll be interesting.
Now,
I mean, if it's childlike, it would be interesting to see how they handle a figure. Because if you're like thinking about like the little goblins and you've got that be an interesting test because children figures always look weird anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how they sculpt that one.
That was part of the talk that we were having last night on Let's Go Off World. Um, mind you, we've just had big reveals of all new kinds of body types and parts and all like that with Reign of the Beast. But it was brought up that what if we kind of saw some of those new Joe's here.
Oh, Joe.
Good to see you, brother. Nothing's coming out, Joe. You're muted. Check your mic.
Yep, that was it. I hadn't pushed the button on the actual mic itself.
I thought that might have been it. So,
yeah, I'm still a little sleepy now. It's 5:30 where I'm at. So,
right, yeah. These ones are kind of rough, but I wanted us to have enough time to be able to again kind of go through the history of Figura Obscura and kind of get people caught up. Since this is that soft relaunch of Legion's class that Brick and I are going to go through. So,
right on.
Yeah. We're again, we'll probably do a more greater detailed breakdown of a lot of these things over time. I wanted to run through people with that. And so that was kind of the education portion of the stream. Now we get to the speculation portion of the stream, which is what everybody likes anyway, right? Except for Curtis. Curtis hates
right. It's for me, it's not that I hate it. It's just that I'm never right. So
I mean, you know, Joe, I got to agree with you because even I was saying last week, oh, they're probably going to do the drop next weekend because of the dates, and you got me convinced that they were going to do it next week.
It didn't seem like a good idea, but I also hadn't taken into account actually shipping the stuff, fast enough that people were getting them before Christmas. So
that was the big thing that Curtis brought up last night that made so much sense about releasing it this week.
Yeah.
Because you're right. They do tend to be a little conscious about what they've released, what's going on. They like making money, but they also like to make sure that we have money to spend on their stuff.
Yes.
And flooding us with everything all at once does not allow for that.
Yeah. Yep, that is very true. But I always seem to find a way to spend money on Horseman stuff. So that's,
man,
where there's a will, there's a way.
We know.
Absolutely, Joe. Like, again, I saw that thing.
Selling my kidneys at some point,
Right.
I'll start selling somebody's kidneys. I ain't making any promises they're going to.
My body keeps making more blood. I don't need all of it. So
they yell at me when I show up to the blood bank. That, why is it all over you? How many buckets do you have? Whose blood
to be
is
yours?
Yeah. They're so judgmental.
What's up, Dylan?
Got Dylan in the house. What is going on, brother? Again, if some of you guys want to jump on, let me know. Dylan, we'll have you on. Again, Greg, if you're even allowed to join, I don't know. Are you going to be running to the warehouse soon to start packing these off?
I think I saw him say last night in the chat that he was going to be on his way to work this morning. So,
yeah, I was thinking so too.
Working. Yeah, I think Greg's working.
Yep. Well, he was taking a shower while watching us. I don't know if that's creepy or erotic, but I mean, either way. So now, Joe, you were there last night for a lot of the talk and what we were discussing. So we kind of got to the realm of, well, you know what? Actually, since you're here, why don't you go ahead and pick up right where your thoughts were last night with this? And while you're doing that, I'm going to hop off screen and switch to mobile. So, because now that I see you smoking, it makes me want to smoke more because I haven't gotten my nicotine in this morning.
Well,
really.
Yeah. After the show last night, I realized that I didn't have a pack of cigarettes, and I was pretty sure I did, but something happened to it. So But I was pretty tired.
I know
so-
how that goes. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I got enough
I-
for the morning. You wake up and you don't, and you're like, oh shit. Now the first thing I got to do is that.
Yeah, but my son said, "Hey, I'm going to town. I'll grab a pack for you." And I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And then I got up this morning and I was like, I couldn't find it, so I woke him up, and he's like, "What? I don't think I did." So yeah, so I had to make a trip into town this morning. But yeah, speculation for what's coming up. I mean, my speculation is always it's going to be great. Whatever they decide to do, it's always something that is freaking amazing, and I love it, and I'm going to buy it. I think the biggest topic was whether or not it was going to be a 2-pack or a single release. My wallet wants a single.
3-pack. Yeah.
I don't know if they would go 3-pack because then you're shooting around like a $200 drop right before Christmas. But I've been wrong before. I don't know.
If they put it causes a big hit at once, but if the accessories are right, they could probably keep it at 150.
Yeah, that's true. That's true if they didn't overdo it on the extras. I know Curtis was saying he'd like to see them drop as many as they need to do to get this over with to move on to other things, to get the surprise back, because the big thing for a lot of people with the Figure Obscura is the surprise.
Here's the other thing. It could be a Scrooge and Ghost of Christmas Present, because Come Walk With Me, think of it, you would have to have kind of both for that imagery to be meaningful.
Right. And I was saying last night too, I wouldn't mind getting a Tiny Tim at some point. It would be, it's an integral character to the story, and I'd love to get that scale, like a halfling scale, in
with
from
crutch too.
Yeah, which would be an amazing accessory. So, there's so much they could do, and the cool thing about Figure Obscura, pardon me, is that there doesn't seem to be limits. Every Figure Obscura is just kind of blowing me away with retooling and things like that.
Well, and it's been increasing in the amount of things. If since it started, they kind of slowly have increased the extras.
Yeah,
and it's gotten like the creature was the most accessories I think I've seen for that price point.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they're including all those other kind of diorama-ish pieces that people could use for displays.
Yeah, the Frankenstein's creature, it was just packed full of extra stuff. I mean, you could even give them two very distinct different looks, with what was included. I enjoyed the soft goods, being a part of that particular one, which I feel opens the door even to a lot more options. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun can be had with Figure Obscura now, because the door is just wide open. I feel like
well, and there's a bunch of new those new literary IPs that are now in public domain as they've aged out of their copyrights. So
they're
going to have a whole new set of stuff that they could do. And I mean, honestly, it would be interesting to see their take on a Pooh Bear or a Eeyore or a just in general in that thematic thing. It just it's weird, but I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. Eric Treadway is so creative. Like, that guy's mind just works different when it comes to sculpting, for sure. So yeah, it really opens the door to what we could get.
Well, next year, Joe, you and I are going to get a little bit more of that, because we are going to somehow make it to intern for a day, and we're going to sit in on that class.
Right. I'm definitely putting in for it for next year, for sure.
Can't not put in for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't this year because I didn't want to. It was my first time going, so I didn't want to, overload myself with things to do. But now that I've experienced it, I'm ready.
I totally put in for it and just didn't win. And then to find out again, fellow Legions class teacher Rick won it. It's like moments of jealousy, like, oh, how dare he? And then complete and
Right.
total moments of pride, like, damn right, Rick, you deserve it. He was already coming, but it was like, more of an experience for his first year at Legions Con to be able to come and do that.
Right.
So, all right, guys, we're counting it down here. We've got, let's see, it's 8:37 right now. We're going to have that drop come in the next 23 minutes. And Thanos Copter joining the chat. Brother, if you're looking decent enough and you want to jump on, I was going to say decent, but, if you're presentable enough, you can come on and join us, brother. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and come on. Yeah, man. He's backstage already? How did I not know? I didn't hear the bump.
Hey, Thanos.
Oh, you masochist. It is way too early to be up on a day off.
Right.
That's kind of how we all are. It's me too. Like,
I'm always up on weekends at 5, so this is not new for me now.
Yeah, same. I kind of wake up early. I wake up early every day, whether I want to or not. But going live is a different thing. Because even when we normally
do a couple hours to just get adjusted to being awake and
right, you got to get the coffee in you, and it's like, no, let's jump on as soon as we get up and go live. I literally had enough time to make my coffee, get myself presentable. As far as, okay, do I have a shirt on? All right. Pants are still negotiable. Brick, that's what it was. And again, I was already singing your praises this morning. Thank you for all the work you did on your travels home yesterday to put these elements together for this special Legions class, the soft relaunch. So for the first half hour, kind of went through and talked a lot about the history of Figura Obscura, what it is exactly for those who don't know. So if you want to go back and catch that, we didn't have too much outside the box talking, but there's quite a bit. Of course, anytime there's a live stream, got to interact with the chat too. So, but yeah, I mean that's we're here to really enjoy, and it's become a tradition on the channel here to do these. Every time there's a Figura Obscura drop, get up early, have the speculation before the drop, praise the drop, try to scramble and order the drop, and then later we come and we talk about how awesome it is. And for those of us in the morning that said, no, I'm not going to get it, or I'm on the fence, then we twist your arm until you do, and everybody gets Figura Obscura.
Just annoying,
like every time
enabling that occurs, yes.
I'm like, maybe I won't get it. And then I see it, and I'm like, I'm going to get that.
Trevor's photos sell you alone, man. Like, it's hard not to want to buy it after watching.
Well, they load them, too. Like, even if you're like, the figure, maybe I don't need it, but then you see all the stuff it comes with, you're like, yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's something we were talking about earlier, like, especially with the gods of Egypt and then Frankenstein's like, creature.
His setup, like, he's a great figure, but his setup is what sold me.
Same thing with the Red Death, man. I know a lot of people got sold with the clock alone, just because it's great for those background shots. And again, if you
clock and the blood thing pretty much sold me on Red Death. Yes, I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, until that, right? And that's the thing about it too, because like even if you try to go to one of these aftermarket sellers that piece things out and then sell them separately, the extra accessories are basically going to cost you as much as the figure itself. So you might as well just get the figure when it drops. So we got Terrence St. John coming in with us here. And brother, thank you again. I've reached out to Terrence yesterday because again, it's a bad off pay week for me to be trying to get this. So I appreciate you trying to help me out, Terrence. I really do. John of the Collecting Brothers, because we're starting to think that Josh doesn't actually exist, that it's just an AI image that he has to play off of on the show. But good to have you here with us this morning, brother. Look, hey, if either one of you guys wants a link, let me know, man. Like, that's half the fun of these things is enjoying it together with your friends. And Brick says he's slowly crawling out of bed. Got to get a hall pass, but he'll be late to class. All good, brother. All good. You turned in some extra credit beforehand, so it's not going to factor into your grade. You've already curved. We curved it for you.
I just paid my property taxes yesterday, so. But I'm okay. I have a little bit of money left, so we'll see how this goes.
Just enough to get a Figura Obscura.
The retailer exclusives dropping freaking murdered me. I spent like $400 getting those. So
Thanos may be eating ramen for the rest of the month, but he'll be all right.
Christmas feast
we'll make it work.
I'm such a pain in the butt when it comes to food, though. Like, I need good food.
Yeah.
I'm the ramen guy. I will happily eat ramen just to have the toys that I want.
Joe's okay subjugating his entire family to ramen.
I'm right there with you, Joe. I'm right there with you, man.
Hell yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I had like instant ramen. So.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, Thanos, you could have like a good, decent vegetable ramen from a place, you know.
I mean, I'll eat like greens, which are relatively cheap for weeks on end if I'm like in the budget way, but
right. Oh man. Yeah. See, Matt used to say, but he's still saving up for property taxes for early next year, right? Like, again, this is not always the best time of the year for a drop like this, but at the same time, let's also remember, folks, that you can always ask people for Christmas presents like when we were a kid. Just put at the top of your list. Figura Obscura drop the first week of December. That's actually a
great idea. Like, just next year, it's like, just get me whatever the Figura Obscura drop is for Christmas.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it.
Even though I don't always agree with Curtis Ackerman on his comments on these things, but asking for gift cards to Store Horseman,
gift cards.
Stocking up on gift cards is, not a terrible idea for this kind of stuff too. I would never have them last long enough to save them for a Figura Obscura, but
I got some gift cards. Like, there's an in-stock sale.
Let's spend.
John gave me a gift card last year for Christmas / my birthday because that's rolling up around the end of the month, and it was like, all right, got my gift card, buying that fucking bear. There was no holding on to that for an in-stock sale. I was like, I need to pre-order my bear now.
Right.
Yeah. I still haven't pre-ordered anything from the new wave, but probably not.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm gonna wait till the last minute.
We gotta buy a Figura Obscura. So
yeah. Well, I tend to wait till the last minute on the waves, so that way I can just maximize the amount that I buy of them. Right.
If you hold it off to the end, it's like, okay, it's how much for the all-in and what figures do I need extra? Or in Joe's case, how many all-ins can I afford by the end of the drop
depending
period?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll get 2 all-ins this time. There's a few. I'd like to get the Ninian Honor Guard. I'd like to get an extra of those and a couple extra Knolls.
Right. Oh man, again, just this whole wave. The least impressive.
But this one, now that they're adjusting the prices to be closer to what retailers are on their prices, I think it's like $125 difference between the all-in from the Horseman and if you buy it from a retailer afterwards, and that is a chunk of change.
Yeah.
So, it is. It is. It definitely is. Because, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the Horsemen have raised their table cost up higher. So, like, if you see them at a convention, their cost is a little bit more. And then the retailer price got lowered at the same time. So it's a couple bucks difference for each now so that they match, which was a really cool move by the Horsemen. So that way they're not undercutting their own retailers at shows.
Right.
Because last year at PowerCon, man, the only sellers that were selling Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions even at PowerCon last year were the people who were carrying older stuff. And truthfully, you couldn't even really get Cosmic Legions at a cheaper price from the retailers. But like those older characters, like if a retailer still had an older character, those were the kind of figures that people were buying from the retailers because the Horsemen didn't have them on the table,
Yeah.
So that was a big deal.
They also have they've talked about having limited warehouse space and that they're not going to be ordering as much overstock. I think that they feel like it would benefit them if people would buy more from the retailers because they just don't have the warehouse space for everything, for dragons and waves at the same time.
Nobody's got room for dragons, including us, but it doesn't mean we're not getting them. It just means we're not going to get 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because I still got to make room for 4 more dragons.
I'll find a way.
Just like mount them to the ceiling.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, my little display space back here might be a dragon at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, mine is. I love that Lords of Power 5-pack that I have up behind there. That has been a holy grail since I've known about its release. But that's also how I feel about this dragon because I never thought I'd own a dragon like that in my collection ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that just was not a thing that I ever thought was going to exist for the collection ever. So,
right.
And it's
there was a part of me that thought that they might not do it. I mean, that's quite an undertaking, and I wasn't sure if they would go back to that because it's not something you do as just a regular release. And I wasn't sure if they would go back to the Kickstarter mold after so long away from it. But yeah, they're going to do it, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, they're pretty good about dodging it. Like it's like,
yeah, they really were.
Right? Trevor, he goes live. He enjoys being out and amongst the community and doing these lives with us. And it's become sort of a game of trying to make him crack, but he's never going to crack because he loves his job.
Yeah.
But that man's poker face, mind you, I will throw down. Like I do not mind getting into a poker game with somebody. I can read a lot of people and I would never sit down and try to play poker against Trevor. That's just not in my future. Because I don't like guaranteed losses, which it would be.
Right.
That would have to be strictly luck to win that one, because that man's poker face is way better than mine.
Oh man, yeah, he's got it dialed in for sure. But however, I'm sure that's part of the fun too for him. I mean, a lot of the stuff he doesn't find out about it until like a week or two before. Yeah, because a lot of the photos he takes are at the last minute, before it comes. But I try not to ask him. I feel bad,
no,
because
he gets
I'm
pestered
the opposite
by everybody else.
Well, and I'm the opposite too. Like I would have a hell of a time keeping that secret. I would want to tell somebody, I'd be like whispering to the dog, do you know what's coming next?
I also like just the surprise of it as much, right? Like I enjoy these surprises as it gets announced. So now Lone Dragon's asking, because he's newly getting into Legions, and I kind of partially blame all of us.
Welcome aboard.
Right. sorry, not sorry.
Right.
So people who have been with legions for a while, what are the odds they make different gnolls and snake men later? I don't want to buy 3 or 4 if I can get 2 and then 2 of a different one later. That's the thing. It's not so much that they're going to release different kinds of these. Like, we're going to see reuse of parts for sure, because they're not shy about the reuse of parts. But at the same time, like, there are certain figures like the Boreer where, well, we haven't really seen them come back to a Boar soldier since. But then there's also the idea of the legacy line, where they're going to be doing a lot of version 2s of older characters with a lot of new parts. So it could very well be that you're going to have limited, like, who knows when they're going to be getting to this newest wave in the legacy, right? Like, you know, that might be years from now. So it's really just a matter of waiting it out and seeing what you want. I'd say buy as much as you are comfortable with, because we probably won't see necessarily this Knoll version again. So if there are parts from this Knoll that you absolutely have to have multiples of, get multiples now, because you don't know when you're going to see those parts again. It's almost a guarantee you will see them again, but you just don't know when.
But they could definitely just be like, oh, we're doing a ton of those. Like, how many skeletons do we have? You know, how many different knights do we have?
Right. This last year, last 2 years, been very skeleton heavy. So,
but if you buy a few now and then the new ones come out, you can mix and match, and then you have even more different looks. And
basing it off
like,
of.
I have.
I would just going to say, basing it off of the amount of extra heads too. Sometimes, you know, like most of them come with an alt head. I like to display myself anyways, you know, like something that is a troop builder, like you know, I'm not going to troop build Basilia, for example, but she has a royal guard. I want at least 2 royal guards to display with her, you know. That's why the Ninian infantry was important for me to get 4 of them at Legions Con, so that way I'd have Basilia, 2 royal guards, and then 4 infantry in front of them. So that's for my display. So I guess it kind of depends on how you want to display. You know, I'd like to get 3 of the Knolls, just because they talk about it being a pack of Knolls, cacklers.
You definitely need to do a walkthrough of your collection at some point, Joe.
So what's stopping me right now? It's funny because morning, Brick. Curtis has been harassing me about doing a walkthrough of my collection, and the main reason that I haven't is because of spider webs and dust. I just need to clean everything again, because I don't want it to look like a haunted house toy walkthrough. That's kind of what it looks like right now. But
Brick and I are talking about relaunching Legions class. I know I asked you before, brother. We're gonna need some help with that, so you're gonna have to start dusting stuff off.
I'm gonna have to. Well, see, the thing is, the dust that I have here, I can't just like go in with an air can and blow it off. I have to wash it. But I have a special soft bristled brush, and you know, I can do it. It's just a lot of work. So eventually,
not a problem.
I will get around to it, though.
All right, guys, I'm hopping off a mobile and jumping inside for 2 reasons. It's cold as hell out here right now. My hands have kind of gone numb. Plus, we got 5 minutes till the drop, so I want to be prepared when it drops. I will be there.
Right on. So how's it going, Brick?
What's wrong with us, guys? What's wrong with us?
This is what's right with us, in my opinion.
Do you want the professional opinion, or do you want the non-professional opinion? Which one do you want?
Yeah, I'm the guy that hides in the porta potty at work to order Figura Obscura. So, you know, being off today is actually saving me some work.
Man, what options you have to either be in the mine or be in the porta potty.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So my shift starts at the exact moment of the Figura Obscura drops. So I'm rather fortunate that I don't have any other collectors in my crew at work, because every Figure Obscura drop, I'm like, oh, my stomach this morning, and I'll be right back. And I make a quick run to the porta potty, order my figure, get my all in, and then come back and sit in on the morning meeting. So,
does anybody there have any idea what you're doing, or no?
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
I've told people at work, it's like, I'm going to go order a figure, and I will be back.
Right.
It sucks when drops are like when I'm driving, though, because like if I'm on the road, it's like I can't like fiddle with my phone while transporting a patient. And...
Right. Yeah. The Figure Obscuras haven't been too bad. The last test shot sale that they did, I ended up missing out on, just because like we were having like an important meeting and I couldn't like jump out of it, and then my internet connection wasn't great, and I ended up missing out on the test shot that I wanted, and I was like, oh, darn, you worked. Yeah, so it happened.
I know.
So what did I miss? Sorry, for the last hour and 27 minutes that my channel's been streaming.
So we did a brief history kind of overview of what Figura Obscura is. We went down each of the releases that have come out in order of release, and just kind of took it from there, talking about what it is, how important it is. Didn't go in depth on each one, because if you want to do that, go pick up a book and read about it, right? Like, don't want to sound rude about it, but that's the truth.
But you were.
Yeah, I was, because that's how I can
be rude. Read a fucking book.
Right?
Fuck out of here.
Read a book.
I know at least everybody old enough to be freaking, buying these toys themselves. You were around in the days of books. So go open one up. Have a read. But yeah, that's really what we were doing, going through those, talking about like all the cool fun stuff they come with, and just going back and looking at the evolution. You can see they've ramped it up. Like each time they just kind of keep coming with more and more accessories, which is great. And I did want to jump in here and recognize some people that are in the chat that have jumped in, since we got Paul Morales here. Nolan is here making us officially Toy Tube this morning. All you West Coaster guys, thank you so much for being here. It's great that you are up and joining us for this early release. It's kind of like Christmas, though. It's that anticipation, that excitement.
What's wrong with
Yeah. I'm usually up for work at this time. Yeah.
Look, Brick, you're asking what's wrong with us, and Terrence answered
I'm using
you like
this extra time to work on my book, so we're all good.
Right on.
I just realized I have 2 Store Horseman accounts.
Cart's full on both of them.
I was like, yeah, I guess I used a different one to pay for intern.
There you go. That makes sense.
I was like, what did I pay for on September 11th?
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. And Brick, now that you are live with us, thank you.
She's live.
Ooh, let me bring it up. I'm going to share screen with everybody.
Stop talking. Start buying.
You guys start buying. I can't buy at the moment. Terrence has got my back.
Well, Insta buy. Yes, please. That's what I was looking for.
Right. Now, as we all rush to go do this thing.
Flat
rate, I'm going to share screen.
$75.17 for California.
I gotta say, I love hearing that. All right, so I'm refreshing.
Right, got my all in. Now I can look at what I bought.
Speaking of full carts, I still have like all the stuff I was thinking of pre-ordering in my cart.
Oh no.
There we go, guys. We saw it in real time. I tried to refresh so I could go do this. And
wow.
Oh, she's pretty. I did that same thing earlier. I had a hard time getting on, even before, on my desktop. No problem on my phone. But I'm back on the desktop.
All right, let's cut out Source Horseman and go Store Horseman.
Oh shoot, Swig is still in stock, $37. I need 1,000.
Go get yourself a Swig.
It's a decent
get you that
figure. I
Swig.
like him.
Oh, wow. Terrence, you asked me all in or just the figure? Definite all in. Definite all in. She is gorgeous.
The four arms was not something I was expecting.
No, not at all. But look,
I was trying to see. Are those like just plugged into the back? Like
yeah. There's a back adapter.
Okay,
gotta be. Yeah,
pin looks great.
This is great too.
Do I want a pin?
She gets a little older and damaged. Yes. And this, I'm loving this right here. The gas lantern. I've wanted several. Like I kind of want several of the lanterns themselves. I love her little bell staff here. The branch of holly. She is just stunning.
Are we making a mistake by ordering it now? Because then it'll come in later. Whereas if we wait to the second drop, it ships before everybody else.
If you wait till the second drop and buy a single figure, you'll get yours faster. I don't know why, but that's what happened with my
that is what happened with mine.
Creature. Yeah. I got it in like 2 days.
They kind of confirmed that too. No, they kind of confirmed that last night, that basically like the labels print off and then they get started with whatever at the top of the stack of labels. So
hey, Oz, look at the bottom right one with the four arms.
This one right here?
Yeah. She's got four arms in that one.
Yeah, she has a back adapter. One of the photos you can actually get a glimpse of the adapter. It's in white. Right there.
This one?
Yeah.
No,
the one you were just on.
I never really looked at the all-ins. I just never went for them. But now I'm just realizing, it's $15 more. Is that normal?
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah, for the all-ins. Yeah,
that's a brand new back
there
adapter too. You can see where the arms come out of the side, which is not how the previous back adapters worked for extra arms.
Right. I was thinking it was like kind of like the Okitis or the Ilithia back adapter, but that's a new adapter piece.
That's a completely new adapter, and the soft goods look so good.
Them C. Jessam soft goods, man, you cannot fight with them. They are incredible. Some of the time, like the soft goods alone are worth the cost of the figure.
So, and for customizers too, you're getting bare forearms, bare shins,
completely bare.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, at least bare shins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is not entirely what we were speculating last night. Go ahead, Brick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say the paint job on the face is nice. It's very different on that sculpt. I appreciate it. It's kind of like what they did with Shui, where it's like, they're definitely the basic form exists, but they're playing with a paint job to make it really, really look different. Like the shape of the eyes a little bit.
She has like
comes up on the edges,
like a messed up face too. It looks like
that's messed up,
right? Well, kind of like because as the time she spends with Scrooge goes on, she deteriorates, and they're kind of showing
right.
But
like that's a pretty cool head sculpt too, with the single white eye and stuff.
That's cool. There's no pic of that, no pic with that on.
Yep, and also what I kind of like here too is you can see from the side shot that like not only is it messed up, it's slightly like deformed, like not just like a paint app scar or something. And then you got this face here, which to me that almost looks a lot like I can't think of her name now.
Lilith?
Thrace Wraithaler.
Yeah, Thrace. Actually, it does look a little bit like Belulith too with the nose.
Yeah, because of the
yeah. Which, again, even if they're just reusing the hair piece and not exactly the same face piece, they're getting some good reuse out of that. And I gotta say, I like it. But the lamp too, man. This lamp is
The
old
lamp, she has
school
the candle
lantern.
snuffer, so I think Aaron called that one out.
Yep. Yeah, definitely did.
Is that the same staff? I haven't looked at my Father Christmas in a while with just like a
No,
different
the
attachment?
Father
No.
Christmas one is wooden. Yeah, or looks
Yeah.
wooden. So that's a completely new
Similar to the Bryophytus staff. Similar, not exact, but
Father
Look-
Christmas
so-
and the other Jacob Marley are up on the buy now right now too.
Yeah, they
There you
said
go.
they were going to re-release those in very limited quantities.
I like this mug. That is a gorgeous mug. And I'm glad it's not, again, that I'm glad it's not the campfire mug because, like I said, my fat fingers get burnt on that thing.
Right.
So there you go, folks. The holiday drops are in.
I can see already. I wonder how
If
many
you missed your-
customs of that four-armed girl from Elden Ring, the blue one. I forget the character's name, but I could see a ton of people. Rainy the witch or something like that.
Yeah,
I could totally see a bunch of those customs popping up.
Those
That
are
crown is
forearms.
so
The
cool, though.
barbarians have forearms.
Terrence, you can literally see forearms. That's what the new back adapter's for, buddy.
And Terrence says he likes the street lamp a lot. Me too, man. I'm loving that. That's a great piece to add to your dio. There we go. Mal for the character from Elden Ring. And I was hoping it wasn't just holiday re-release. I'd have totally grabbed the Gods of Egypt 2 if they were up. A lot of the retailers got the Gods of Egypt though, so like you could still kind of pick those up. I know I got to go see Uncle Bob up in PA. I got to travel up to him. He's not that far. He's like hour and a half, away. But I got to get up to him sometime soon so I can pick up a Gods of Egypt 2 pack. Yep, I said all in, and I'm not disappointed on this all in. This is great. Like I said, I like each and every part of this. The pin is good.
Even the Christmas cards are neat.
And is that Walter?
It
Kind
is
of painted in there. And you got Jeremy
Walker
right
and
here.
Jeremy. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I
We
didn't
got
notice that.
Gaspar off to the side.
Yeah, on the other side, that's oh my gosh. Those not the center one, but that's Cameron, who is one of the painters. He's the one doing the D&D game.
Painters.
And oh my gosh, I'm drawing a total blank.
I can't even see who that is on the next to. I'm assuming Cameron's the one on the far right in the image right now.
Yes, and on the far
I
left
can't tell the other
is
two.
he works for the in the shipping department. He did a children's book, Dreaming of a Brown Christmas.
Oh, I met him.
Oh, Jesus.
Greg, help us
I feel
out.
so bad
Greg.
that I can't think of his name.
Greg, you're in the chat. Help us out.
Yeah.
They
And
may be
again,
doing
as
double
the-
duty on Trevor's too.
That's
I know
true.
A couple of
That's
people are
true.
doing that.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
I'm trying to open up these photos.
So
Let's
this
see.
card, yeah, happy holidays here. Again, that's something else that's neat with their holiday releases is you get these cards, and I know last year at least, like you could literally just buy a pack. There you go. You get a 10 pack of cards, $10. It's all the same card, but it's still really cool that they do that. I almost wish they had the other cards up too for release, because that would have been neat. Guys, if you still want your D20 Horseman style, it's available. Monkey King tumbler still available. Skate decks, if anybody wants to buy one for Lawrence, just even if it's to smack him over the head with it or something. Finally sold out of the Golden Knight Legion Builder 2. I don't remember them having the Fireside mug for Sun Wukong. Did I miss this, or is this new? I remember they did the tumbler.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I've never really looked at the all-ins at all. That's why I was kind of surprised by the price. I was like, oh, that's not bad. Like another $15, you get all that. You know, you get, what is it? A pin?
Well, you get
and the
you
cup.
get the pin, which is $10. Yeah. The pin's $10 and the mug is $12. So by paying $15 more, you're saving yourself, you know, was that $7? No. Yeah, about $7. It's a great deal. It's a good deal. And yes, there will be a secret piece with this drop, because Jeremy has literally said they saved those secrets. It was something we used to kind of think was like throughout, but it's really only on the Christmas ones. They always add that little extra.
Vernon Gibbs. Sorry, it was driving me absolutely insane. I had to look it up.
Thank you.
Vernon Gibbs.
Oh man, I'm sad I didn't get to meet Vernon during intern. I don't
Right?
think we really walked through the shipping.
Yeah, I don't know. He was at the con. I
Probably because they had
times,
product you couldn't see necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, that's something that I like that they're doing for these, is they are putting, you know, they're putting these people in there. Like Nate's painting them into these. And I think that's great. Again, I love the fact that Walter's actually on a box this time. And again, I know earlier I was pointing out the ones from last year too, that were painted in the different spirits. So fantastic release. Again, always blown away by what the Four Horsemen are doing. And unboxing art in the house saying, good morning, everyone. What is up? You know, it's fun to do these morning lives just to see who else is coming in, you know, this early. I know a lot of people were up this early just because of this drop, right? Now, again, for those of you who might be catching this a little bit later, woke up a little bit late, they're doing a second release tonight at 8 p.m. And I had originally set the first live for 8:30, not thinking about the fact that it's an 8 p.m. drop. So we'll be going live later tonight again at 7:30 again. Wow. You know, just because we like to go live again a little bit before it's closer to the actual time of the drop, because there's less need for speculation as we've already seen it. But we just like to go live and, you know, have fun and convince you all to buy more. Because that's what we do here. So
because misery loves company.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we appreciate you all. Plus, we just like promoting what we're passionate about. And this is definitely something that most of us have a passion for. Eternity Lips, Sir Clifton says, got my Ghost of Christmas Past secured. Hope you all got it as well. That we certainly did, brother. And I'm glad to see you're getting it, man.
Hey, Oz, would you mind sharing my screen? I was able to figure out how to make it a little bit more visible.
There we go.
Sorry,
there we go.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Just a visual.
No, not a problem. Nolan says, I want a Mythic Legion's donkey now. Ha ha ha. If you watched last night, I even said that. I was like, you know, because we're getting into that whole, what do you want to see from Figura Obscura? And
just wait for the Legion's Quest Henry the Donkey tribute figure. So,
well, last night I was just saying I want Dominic the Christmas donkey. Look at that, man! Look at that. And you know, Cameron was in our official Let's Go Off-World 2.0 photo, so he's technically He's
right.
Let's go Off-World 2.0 cast. Just gonna
Who did you
he
say was between Cameron and Vernon?
I don't think that's a real person.
I don't recognize
at least
it.
nobody that I'm aware of. Yeah. Just like on the other side, I think that the woman that's behind Jeremy might not be a real person, again, that I'm aware of. So
it could be a significant other that we just haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wonder if that person is, this person here is cut off just in
probably
image,
Greg.
the angle, or if it's
Could be
Sure,
Greg
looks
again.
Look like Greg's haircut. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in there.
I feel like Greg is the ghost of Christmas present.
Yeah,
Right,
he would be the ghost of Christmas present for sure. He's just that tall. And you know what? Chances are, guys, if you want to see the full background image, I'm sure Bill over on Dork Layer, after you're done watching here, go check out his drop video where he shows off everything. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of fun popping swaps that you can see, because he gets a chance to get this and film everything and play with it before the rest of us get it. So, you'll be able to see all that. And again, as well,
I got Trevor's stream up on my alternate monitor here, and right now Bill has that cone, the snuffing cone, on top of her head, and it actually fits. Looks like she has a dunce cap on. So
this one, this one, right?
Yeah,
the big one. Yeah. She has that one on top of her head. So
that's great. That's great.
This one looks very what's her name? Cersei Lannister, the actor.
Lena Headey.
Yeah, there's something about this.
I was thinking that too.
Whole area. She looks great. There's a lot of paint on this prototype. Or is this an in stock? This is an in stock item,
in
right?
stock. Yeah,
in stock item.
Figures.
That looks like pretty thick on that thing.
I was gonna say that's one thing Trevor has said about the Figure Obscuras. Like, for a lot of these, he gets like a prototype, and it can only move in certain ways, and kind of like trying to get those to work into the shots. Whereas when it's Figure Obscura, he gets the actual release. It's the one time he gets the fully fleshed out product to be able to take pictures of. And I would assume probably with the Skeleton Legion Builder 2 and the Ninian Infantry, he got the actual figures to photograph.
Yeah.
Now, is the lamp the same as Father Christmas? I'm forgetting.
The top portion of the lamp does look like the same, but again, it's attached to a full lamp post now, so that's kind of cool. But it does look. Hold on, Brick. Let me bring it up, because they got Father Christmas up here.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
No, it's a different sculpt. It's a different sculpt on even the lamp. All right. Oh, Brick's faster than I am with it. He got it up.
Oh no, you're
just
good. I forgot.
No, it's
in this thing. It's been
so
again.
much.
I think if you guys don't have a problem, I have a problem. I have all these things and I'm barely enjoying them, is what it is. But yes.
So Lone Dragon's asking if she comes with a flying stand. No, she does not. None of the figures really have come with their own stands. Normally they have a little bit of in-stock stands, but I think they actually sold out. Which doesn't mean they won't get more. They just don't have any now.
Now I'm getting Daenerys vibes. I'm like a Game of Thrones HBO.
Definitely with that. With that shot, I agree with you.
Dun, 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 dun.
And K-Roll is an all-in on this one. Woohoo! Oh, she's correcting the spelling, saying ordered an all-in. I figured she was just putting in the action. She's ordering the all-in right now.
I love that crown. That is really cool.
Yeah. Right? And again, that's another great piece for custom too, because like you take it off, you can paint up, the roses and stuff like that on it. And like, I totally could see somebody walking through Zylona's flock, rocking that crown. Like, fits right in.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh man,
dual molded or probably. Oh no, I guess the whole thing would probably be.
I would bet the whole
transparent.
thing is clear and they just painted it. Yeah.
So this also makes me feel like that color variant, right? Again, we know we're going to see a retail version of this next year. They're going to announce that with the retail appreciation wave. What that color variant's going to look like, because again, with Father Christmas, like they went from like this purple and red, very traditional Father Christmas to a completely green. And I could totally see them doing something similar with her too. Again, she'd fit right in with Xylona's flock. And Lone Dragon is now one of us, because you can see he spent $250 this morning. He's just getting into Mythic Legions, and he just dropped $250 this morning. That's easy. Ask Terrence. He got started like last year around PowerCon, and he like there wasn't just a landslide. He fully rolled into how this goes. And yeah, my sister will tell you it happens with the Horsemen. You just fall in love with their products. And yep, just blame me. That's okay. I will totally take that blame. As a matter of fact, like we lost Aaron. We're so crazy looking at the figure. I didn't even see that.
Oh, he's been gone for a while.
He's been out for a bit.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I miss you, brother. But yeah, completely. We're probably four of the worst people to watch when it comes to this stuff, because there's
if
no
you're trying not to buy, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to watch this stream if you're trying not to get into Four Horsemen, because it's just not going to happen here. You're gonna buy Four Horsemen.
If you're trying not to buy Four Horsemen, don't look at the product.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at this being like, wow.
Yeah,
just all the way around. Wow.
All right, so we're getting the break
on the bottom of this. Sorry, loving the printing on the bottom of this. Her gown. That's what I wanted. My thing was like, I want the gown. I want like a nice flowing gown by CJS. I'm really kind of curious to see what that would look like. I think it looks great. It's always hard with the fabric though, in terms of like the weave and everything. And it's sheer, so it's kind of cool. I like that. I'm also,
you can tell it's wired.
Yeah, it's wired. I just wondered about like the hemming, but I'm like, it's an older Victorian, and this ghost obviously is like older than that. So I was like, okay, it'd probably be a little rough around the edges like that. Me being super geeky, but it looks rad. Sorry, that's all. I'm processing. That's all, and I love the forearms. I love everything you guys have said. The crown, gorgeous.
Yeah, there's not a part of this figure that I don't like, and I'm not just blowing smoke up the Horseman's butt. Like I mean, I wouldn't say these things about it if it wasn't for the fact that they deliver consistently each and every time. And yeah, every line's got its QC issues, and you're gonna probably see some, and people are probably gonna be pretty vocal when they get some QC issues with this, as they always are. But Jeremy's even put out the numbers. Like, their rates on the QC are better than most companies.
She's got the hinged neck, so that's a new torso.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was going to point out.
I was just wondering.
Enhance.
Now, it doesn't look like she's got the double jointed elbows that we've just seen revealed. Yeah. So
thank goodness. I don't want them.
There you go. Joe will tell you he don't want it.
You don't like double L as an aesthetic thing?
Yeah, absolutely. If they had started with them, I probably wouldn't mind them, but I don't like that a big stark contrast in the visual. I don't want to go from my knights looking like knights to my knights looking like Marble Legends. It just I'd like to have that consistent feel. I like the Valiant Knight has an amazing range of movement, and they didn't need to sacrifice the sculpt for it. So,
right. And I can totally understand that too. Yeah. So let's see. We got a breakdown here. I just want to go. So he kind of slid right in. He got all three of the figure obscuras, the holiday figure obscuras, which is great. You're building your Christmas decoration set there. And he says that the Varg was accidentally still in my cart from previous browsing. You're not going
I've
to be
accidentally
disappointed.
bought a lot of figures, actually. So yeah, I feel
Yeah, I
that.
had to empty my cart before I put the order in because I was like, well, how much would it be if I got these figures?
Right.
Right. All right. And so this is what I love here because, right, like Terrence totally hit this hard and he's been running hard with it since he's been in. And brother, I salute you, man. I salute you. I probably would have done the same thing too. Like if I'd had more income that I could invest, I would. Let's face
Those
it.
are new bare feet too. The
Yes.
bare feet that they had before.
They still had the bar on the
ankle.
top.
Yeah, the ankle bracelet or whatever you call it piece. So those are new bare feet.
Yep. But Terrence is saying loves the products, loves the studio, loves the community, the cabal. Absolutely. And then Gina says, and then Terrence took her down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Because
well, we're glad that you guys are here for sure. Without those two,
absolutely.
we wouldn't have 1,000 swigs.
No, we'd still have 1,000 swigs. We just wouldn't know what
event.
to do with 1,000 swigs.
Right. We wouldn't have the event at Legion's Con. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. And Gina's just racking up more and more projects now because she's started shouting, it's a girl. It's a girl. And she has bare arms. Holy crap. She has 4 bare arms. Yeah. And again, for those of you who are new to this, the bare arms are still a really relatively new look for any of these Legions characters. Because like Joe was just saying, they normally got like some kind of armor piece in there somehow, some way. So having absolutely bare arms from shoulder to wrist is fantastic. And you get 4 of them. So for the customizers out there, even if, for fodder, you're getting a whole extra set of arms for a female character.
Yeah, they look great. Yeah. Look at that.
Yep. And I think
their body underneath that robe. Kind of curious to see how it's sculpted.
Should we bring up Bill's video? We can take a look. I mean, I want you all to go watch Bill's video, but he shows what's under the dress.
Here, I'll bring it up.
All right. Thank you, Brick. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. And
all
got
should
news
go.
From
you all should do this. Click like. Subscribe. Do all the things.
Become a channel member too. So actually, it's got some really good value for being a channel member.
I don't know if you needed audio. If you want to play audio on yours, you can.
No, we don't need the audio because I want people to go watch and listen on their own. But we're just curious for science. JMax77, hope you got your all in, buddy. This is a fantastic one. And what's
there
under
he
the
is,
dress?
holding up a box.
I'm wondering what the buck is going to look like. I mean, the customizing
I want to see the
option.
adapter. I want to see the adapter. Again, the art on this box too. Nate, you are just killing it, brother. Man, these are great. I like the Bills wearing the Jacob Martins.
The art.
Here we go. Can I give you a?
There are more people.
Screen? There's a lot. Oh,
that's
the whole Christmas party.
That's Jim.
Yeah, right here. There's Jim.
Yep.
got his time to shine in the spotlight.
Oh yeah, it's the whole crew.
Yeah,
it is.
Right on.
These are likely all real people. I think it would be weird if they had fake people throughout it. Maybe just people we don't know.
It'd be awkward because that looks like that's probably Sherry behind Jim.
I can't tell.
Back here, that's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell without seeing it up close. When do we get that pack of characters? Just saying.
Play that sound again. Sorry, I need that. I need your phone. Your
that was a you moment, Thanos. Get a notification. Let me text Thanos.
Oh, cool. Your full screen. Here you go.
Yeah, I tried to give you the fullest screen layout so we're not taking away from.
Oh man, I gotta fix the overlay. Note to self: cover up the browser.
Nah, it's all right. I don't see any tabs that shouldn't be up there.
That is beautiful, though. Holy moly!
Right? Oh wow, you can really see that embroidery on the bottom. That detail.
Yeah, it looks
work,
printed.
Man.
It looks printed, but
it does. Probably like an iron-on, but still.
Oh no, I think they print directly on it. I was spending some time with CJ talking about the Necronominus stuff that was on display, and I hadn't even clocked that. Like, I was like, "Oh, where are you sourcing the materials? How'd you find that print? It's perfect." And he's like, "Oh no, we have those made." So like, they actually will design the prints and the textiles and have them printed on the fabric, and then put it together.
So we got Lone Dragon saying, "How the hell are all these pictures in flying poses?"
That's Bill's flight stand.
Yeah. Right. What if she doesn't?
He's on a flight stand, but she doesn't come with it. Yeah.
Right. She doesn't. She's not going to come with the flight stand. Your flight stands are sold separate.
Yeah.
It's not false advertising. They did not advertise what it comes with. Well, they advertise what it comes with, and that's
false
what's shown in
advertising.
the Four Horsemen pictures.
Yeah. Wait, that background, that black thing, I want that too. It's in the picture.
I want all the dios from Trevor's pictures too. Those come with it,
right? All the universe shots that he takes. I want those. They need to come with it.
It's all good, man. They're just showing stuff. Look at the figure. Enjoy. Virtual hugs sending through the internet.
You can actually get some good flight stands pretty cheap.
Yeah.
They're not hard to come by, Lone Dragon.
Yeah.
And Iron Wing Studios, the one that does the the one with like the multiple wires brick, is that the
Iron Wing?
Yeah. Those are really cool.
I love it.
Pretty minimal, very functional.
Now, Madsen's bringing up that this was sent a while back, but the truth is they probably just got this a couple days ago. They really don't give these guys a lot of time to spill the secrets. Like Trevor says it all the time.
I think Bill gets 2 weeks.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of time, especially with the holiday, to make sure
to edit and everything. I think he usually gets them 2 weeks before the release, but he's the only one.
I was going to say, so it's just Trevor that ends up getting the short end of the stick there and gets it like
usually
2 days. 2 days. We need 20 photos. Have at thee.
I think with Figura, they get him a little bit earlier. I would hope. They really shouldn't be given to him on
well, they've got a production schedule
Thanksgiving
for these.
Week.
Right. That would be the worst. Absolute worst.
It's very Scrooge of them. It would be in theme, but
right.
Look at
Trevor is
Jim.
kind of a wizard, though. I don't know how much time that he needs. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he needs a lot of time just because the intricacy of the setup and stuff.
He shot the dragon at the studio, and then he said they put a TV behind it, and he didn't even want to touch it. So
I love that story about the TV because like they brought in like a 50-inch TV and it wasn't big enough. Like it really was almost not big enough for the shot. And then like the week of Legion's Con, they go and buy a 70-inch TV. He's like, why didn't you buy that before? Like the dragon's almost bigger than the freaking TV you had. Now you buy the bigger one.
Right.
And Terrence saying right here too that the street lamp is chef's kiss. And a lot of times that's what it is when it comes down to these figure obscura. Sometimes it's not even just the figure itself. It's again all those extras that come with it.
So this is Stave 2. This is the book, right? So this is the second chapter, essentially. And I do got to read it. Joe, you're right. From
I was blown away, Brick, that you've never read. This is one of my favorite stories.
I've just never read it. But It
Gotta
totally
get you
comes
some
with it.
Dickens.
Well, it comes with a figure, and it's all online. But yeah,
Yeah, it's not one of the. I think. Let's see. Let me organize my tired thoughts. It ages well. Like it's still
totally.
well written by today's standard. You know, it's not one of those ones that you read it and you go, well, I could see where it was a classic when it came out or something like that. Like the emotion and the thoughts put into it. For me, it's the dialogue. I love the dialogue in it. It's just fantastic.
We're seeing a lot more detail with that wreath there too, the wreath crown. And what I like about this paint job is, I was just about to say, her hair's on fire. It's got to be the hair, because the inside of the crown's painted like it's like there's a fire, but the outside looks, hasn't caught yet. So it's not the wreath that's on fire, it's her head.
Yeah, she's
magic.
She's glowing, got those glowing brains.
Scott Baker jumping in with us here saying, morning, folks. Scott, great to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. I hope you got your all in on this guy.
I'm glad that Bill actually brought in Thrace for that comparison there.
They brought to you
right, because we were just talking.
Just
right.
want to. What were you saying, Joe?
Just that how, not that the female sculpts were ever bad, because they never were, but they're getting to be kind of next level as far as how good they look. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I love this recent sort of, and I know they are the same heads, but it's such a great one that I love it in Cosmic. I love it here.
Well, and the best part is too, yeah, they've reused it a lot since they brought this one in. But what I love best about this is the fact that, again, you can totally, like, for them as a studio, pop the hair off, sculpt new hair, and put it on this head sculpt, and it's a different look, completely different look.
Yeah, and you can see here that. Sorry.
No, Brick, please continue.
Or no, I was just gonna say on that note, you've got if you've got the different sort of headpieces. I'm just trying to think, because I haven't pulled mine apart, if they're all come off like here, but you can see that it's the same face shape and everything, but different paint job, right? How far up you go on the eyes versus how far down everything.
I mean, you can see the nose is different. Thrace's nose is a bit more upturned.
A little more upturned, a little more narrow. Yeah, the lip shape is different. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not
they look
sure.
different, but they both look really good to me, anyways.
But it's just neat how what you can do with the paint, right? Like look at her eyebrows, right? So if you keep the sculpted details out a little bit more, you can kind of play with it, and not unlike makeup, right?
Right.
I've known a few people too.
Grace is the baddie, so she's got to have the evil eyebrows.
Yeah. Those pencil thin.
Right.
Terrence brings it up here, and I wasn't even catching this part of the detail of it. So in the book, she's a living wax candle, right? Like that's how she becomes personified, and that explains the glow at the top of the head. The crystalline, the candle. That's why she comes with the candle snuffer. Like, I wasn't even putting that together with that paint app for the top of the head there being the candle portion, the wick of the candle. I didn't even pick up on it. That's, again, just amazing. And Scott says, beautiful.
Sorry, I was just going to say, definitely go and watch the Dorklair video. So I'm going to try and just jump around a little bit more and hopefully encourage you all to go.
Yeah, there's the back adapter.
Video.
Right? Like, this is the nitty gritty. Let me get down to the parts. Want to see the parts. Okay, so the soft goods is around the adapter.
Yeah, it looks like a two-piece. You've got the one-piece dress under. Oh, actually, that's probably attached. Even that sort of veil. What do you call that thing? Whatever. Train? I don't know.
Like I don't want to say a shawl, but
that's what I was thinking too. Like a little bit of an accurate kind of description, but not quite. So
surprisingly, I know very little about women's clothing.
Arms are great.
they are. Those are. Again, I like it now that we're getting more of these. Like, doesn't need to have armor. Oh, up the
Creepy.
dress.
Creepy.
Hey,
pointing
she's
out the
got
diapers.
underpants on. Thank goodness.
She does have.
Oh, it's an overlay. It's a
Oh, so there's something under the underpants.
that's
There you-
cool. Yeah, I need them to play a little bit more with those attachments, like different things that they can put on there. Don't be weird. Respect, folks, respect.
I
We're all
snickered.
dudes in here right now. Come on.
I snickered.
It's a teacher in me right there. The legs look fantastic. Look at that. Very cool.
You know, Terrence is saying he'd like some pixie haired females, like with the short pixie haircut. Yeah, that would be great. 4 hands means more eggnog at the party. I'm with you, War Chest. I love eggnog. Got some sitting in my fridge right now. Like, as soon as that season hits, like, you know, when we get that switch over from Halloween and they start popping eggnog everywhere, I just start grabbing it because I know it's here for a short time.
Yeah, well, you know that this isn't going to be a one shot for that back adapter. So now I'm curious, what, you know, is it going to be cosmic? Is it going to be mythic legions? Like, where are they going to use it next?
How are they going to attach 20 more of them so we can get kind of a Ganesh figure?
I'd love more sort of Hindu gods. So you just take this one and Shiva it out, you know, that'd be
it would be cool if she had the shoulder pauldron ports, because then you could put a couple more arms in there.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. There's the comparison. There's the whole crew. Yeah, we were saying, was it last night? I think it was in another stream. I was in the chat. Folks were like saying, oh, this is the first time we're doing sort of the part 1, part 2. They don't really do that. But I'm like, no, with Krampus and Father Christmas, I kind of saw those as a continuation of a theme, if you will, like a mini theme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, that's really what like sparked the big debate last night was, you know, I'm fine. Like, the fact that they're doing it this way kind of tells me and lets me know over the next couple of years, kind of what I have to look forward to. And I want, you know, eventually collecting this complete set. Now, I don't mind that. I actually like it. And then, of course, our good friend Curtis, you know, he went on to a whole tirade where he wants the whole 3 or 5 pack now, because he doesn't want to wait. Like, again, we kind of know what the plan is. Next year, we're going to get another ghost. Next year, we're going to get another ghost. And then the year after that, we may get Scrooge. We may not, you know, kind of thing. I hope we eventually get a Scrooge, because I'd kind of feel disappointed if we didn't.
Yeah, but he said the surprise. He liked the surprise of not knowing what we were going to get. This isn't what I thought we were going to get.
I mean, and surprise is how they're going to interpret it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I'm at with it, because I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, we were saying last night, it's going to come on gnome parts and stuff like that, like those smaller bodies and things like that.
You never know. Like, I would love it to, like, if next year we got a Ghost of Christmas Present and it had a dad bod torso that was, you know, like an actual, you know, from the
actual
official part. Yeah, factory part.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And scale dad bod.
we even though we know kind of what the character is going to be, we don't know what that representation is. Oh, so the crown is part of the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging all the bald chicks too. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, hey, nothing.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder.
You've now got 3 bald female heads, so it's not a pixie cut, Terrence, but that's pretty awesome in and of itself.
Don't be surprised if the 3D printers start making hair for
exactly.
that.
That's what I was just gonna say. Go for it. There you go. Okay, got it.
Okay, so that's how it kind of attaches on. Got
I
it.
would have loved a full bald head too. But
I was thinking the same thing, Brick. I kind of wanted the full bald head.
Start playing with that epoxy sculpt.
yeah,
Well,
totally.
yeah. You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say they did 90% of the work. I just got to put in that extra 10% to get that fully bald look. So that ain't bad.
She looks great. Oh, so
And-
what I was interpreting as thick paint was actually the sculpt of her sort of aging, and
Mhm.
that's what it is.
That aging,
Yeah, this stuff here on the side of the
decaying
face.
look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, that's great too, because it's like I'm thinking of like all the scarred look you can do now. Like you've got a perfectly female face if that's how you want to display her. And then you could use these 2 extra heads because clearly she gets more decayed over time. So like that extra sculpting is in those different heads. You could do like some cursed looking stuff. Wow, did
Honestly,
her eyebrows get evil
I
on
was
that
going to say,
one?
look at the eyebrow treatment on this one.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could take that the one that's just scarred on the one side and throw that on a female night body and tell a story with it. You know.
Yes, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying with this. Like, you know, you start getting into the Mythic Legions because the overall figure builds and the paint apps look cool. But once you start getting into the community and you start looking at the customization, figures become less about the whole figure builds itself and the parts library. Here it is. This is what I was waiting
Oh
for.
wow,
That is a
It looks
whole
a
new
lot
back
sturdier
adapter.
than the other back adapters for the arms that they've done.
yeah, and
yeah,
look
it
at
is.
the design on it. That's for Cosmic, 100%.
Yep. I was going to
Doesn't
say
it,
that's
doesn't
a
it also
cosmic
work
piece.
for the female armor too? Like on some of the.
Yeah, they could definitely paint it that way, I'm sure. But I feel like it has just like, because I'm painting a Cosmic figure right now, and that the line work and slickness of
okay.
it totally looks like a Cosmic aesthetic, like what they're doing with Cosmics right now.
It's an interesting kind of middle line, yeah, because I could see it working with like the Artemis armor too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they found a way to like make it work. Yeah,
their paintwork is so good. I'm sure they could make it work with anything for sure.
And then the sculpting too. I love this. Someone else was talking about the back holes, and I was commenting, like, yeah, I wish they would do more to give us covers essentially, and this sort of will do that, right? That big square peg. Same goes for like what they did with some of the Cosmics, like Olek. The
Ninian infantry.
Yeah, and the Ninian, but then finding ways to also still give you the portholes in the back for the
all right,
for the pauldrons.
I normally don't kink shame, but we're chest full of toys. What are you going to do with multiple arms on our crotch? Like what?
Even I don't know what to do with that. So.
Yeah,
So,
that reminds me of Total Recall.
Right, and I get what he's saying. He's wondering if this adapter piece here will fit into the slot on the front of a crotch piece. It's a different size to my knowledge.
Yeah,
the one on the front of the crotch is
And
like where they
actually-
plug in the loincloth.
you should only put the ports where they belong, war chest.
On that note, though, check it out. So that goes in the lower back, right? So these two things are going to be in the small of her back.
Yeah.
But that's not the rectangle. So is this like only taking up half of that rectangle, or am I right? Is it a different?
Well,
is it a different size for 2.0 figures? Let me see.
No, it is smaller. There is a different port size, but
I mean, it's a good size. I wouldn't say.
It might be the same. Yeah.
Hold on, Brett.
Got that notch in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The extra notch is kind of what fills it out.
Got it. Because I'm comparing it to like, who's got a back? Hey, nothing came tumbling down. Compared to,
look, man,
the darkest one possible.
Right. Yeah. They're different sizes, but
very cool.
I'm
dig it,
not
though.
sure about the design. If I can't tell if it's notched on the top also. I don't think so. It's smooth, isn't it, on top?
See.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah. I'm thinking it's only supposed to go one way, but you can
yeah,
make it work.
is.
Just take an X-Acto knife and trim it a little bit. And you could flip it over where the arms would go on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And you can cut
Sonny's.
this down to.
Yeah.
Sorry. What's up, Sonny?
I was just gonna say, Sonny Sundry's in the chat. Glad to have you back, brother. And yes, I lost the beard. The channel got monetized. I said I'd do it, but
The Horsemen took it off. They wanted to give us an alternate head.
that's right. Alternate Oz head for your fingers.
There you go.
Oh, there it is
Yep.
with the cone snuffer, and totally fits. Now I'm just seeing like Devo customs.
Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
know.
dun, 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 dun. Sorry, you got me going.
No, I appreciate you, Brick. Thank you for that. All right, and Sonny's in. He says he already ordered this. Love it, right? Like, I don't think there's a lot of us that are gonna have to wait till tonight to decide to pick this one up.
I didn't even think about this one. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Like, it's like,
Like, let's not play around with it this time. Let's just do it. Done.
We not men. DVO.
And again, this is coming in the winter months here, guys, as we're going to be coming into December. These are going to be shipped out. They're shipped out from New Jersey. Most trucks do not have climate-controlled trailers and cabs or whatever it's getting transported to you in. So when you get this figure, y'all know better. Heat treat it. Heat treat it. Bring it in the house. Let it warm up. At least to room
it's
temperature.
warm in your house?
If you're cold, they're cold.
Right? Yeah, I'm just going to put it out there, guys. Let it heat up and make sure that your figure has been given that beautiful heat treatment that it deserves before you go messing around with plugging things in holes and swapping out parts and stuff like that. Please don't do that to yourself.
I like that comes out because I was kind of wondering about that when they showed it off.
I'm almost wondering if
use
the
that
Christmas
for
tree
a lot
can
more.
slot in there, like the base from the no, the base from the tree would be too big. Oh, Terrence might be a little bit behind on the audio here. He said whip it good, but he gets the Devo reference.
Sorry. I could go on all day with Devo, guys. Yeah, no, Thanos, it's rad. This thing you can totally just stand separately and use elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need to have the snow base. Like, you can literally just pop that anywhere. Again,
Onto a street
Great.
dio, that would look really good. Yeah.
I do have some little like Christmas path strips that match the brick pattern on that pretty well too. So
nice.
Oh, nice.
That'll be great. I can't wait to see what you do with it.
Love that peg. I wish I had it on Ziri.
Yeah, yeah. So Sonny's saying a whole sled with reindeers from Four Horsemen would be something too. Well, tell you what, Sonny, although we're not getting them from the Horsemen, get your reindeer from the Naughty or Nice line. You can still pre-order them now. BBTS. They're coming out in January, February next year. And Arlen is sculpting a sled. Like, it's going to happen. It will be a sleigh. That's been confirmed. So,
Yeah, I want to say that I heard that it was sculpted already.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, you know, he teased us with that last time too. After he confirmed that it was sculpted already, he goes, "You guys want to see the sleigh?" And then we're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, me too." You jerk! You got me all excited.
that's pretty good.
It says, when was the last time I opened a figure within a month of getting it? I opened and assembled the Dragonfly day one. Still need to open the figures though. It's all good, man. Oh, let's see. Gina was saying
she can
have
dance.
to
She can dance.
It's also the musical episode, folks, with all great songs too. As I said, yeah, that's not how I do it. You buy it, then you look at the pictures after. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Joe already told you. All in first, look at the pictures after. That's a bare leg all the way up too. Like, I know we were looking at the granny panties and stuff before, whatever joke. But like just having that bare leg go, oh, he did go all the way up under the clothes.
Yeah, it's the same as Zuri.
Yeah.
Ziri. I forget.
Ziri. At least that's
I was
what
grabbing more coffee and almost missed the best part.
I was just gonna say, like, actually that upper torso is no. Well, they've got it painted where the torso is, so man.
Is what? Are you thinking it's new?
Well, I was kind of like, because I know you were holding up Ziri, but Ziri's got more of that cosmic look to it, where this is more of like a bare body. Yeah. Right. This is just bare body. So that's really cool too. I like that. Because that just means they're going to put all kinds of different paint apps over top of this. Right, kind of where I was thinking with it, easy Ripley custom, or for fans of Ghost in the Shell, the Major.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can keep her head like that too, with Major. Right. For Major, yeah, you definitely can, and it totally works. Also thinking Fifth Element, Lilu custom, like, and that's just what the visuals getting me to, like all those designs of that, and that's just what I'm thinking on the surface. So like, there's so much more you could do. I'm really liking this because like we're actually getting kind of like that nude figure buck, so it's an empty slate. And yeah,
then
I was totally thinking of the Armory experience with something like this, and sort of especially with that sort of like that underwear, essentially like attachment on the crotch. I'm trying to figure that out too. So
I think it's like it's the so it's like the belt pieces.
It's like this.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a belt piece. I think you pull it apart and it just slides right over. Yep,
it just comes up. Yeah,
well, that's just really cool.
Rubberized and just pops down. Because Bill showed the split, it's still got the place for like the to plug the
hole,
I don't know, crotch plug area, I guess. Trying to think
you
of
got
a
a
more
crotch plug,
right?
There's not much we can say, and this is part of Legion's class is a bit of a biology lesson as we try to figure out the biology of all these races.
Yeah,
but there's a crotch hole and then there's a boom boom hole. We'll put it out there. Snicker teehee teehee. Yeah.
Like
I said, I
armor and tails, butt armor.
Got your butt armor on.
Yeah, just
there you go, Greg. Go, please.
Yeah. No, so this is that front attachment.
Right. So this is just going to be like a. Oh, now he's showing off some other stuff here.
Yeah, sorry, I'll get there in a second. I just was trying to get that underwear. Last underwear shot. Weirdos.
Going back to the panty shot. Everybody wants to see.
So, is there a split or is it a single piece? Like, where do
it's split at the crotch, like the bottom of the crotch. Remember, he folded it up earlier to show.
Oh yeah, that down here it's split, right?
Yeah,
like there's no connection on the underside, but
right.
Then you have to take it off and then
the side.
You need to pop her waist off to get it off.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Because for Zuri, it's a 2-piece. There's like a separate sort of crotch piece and then thing.
Right. And the parts are still there for that. Like you could put that waist piece and the cloth draping down on her if you wanted to.
Yeah, there you go. So Sonny's bringing up Alita Battle Angel. Swap out some blades on her arms. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
like the waist Frankenstein came with the adapter. Yeah.
And this is basically that other part here that we absolutely love is Bill's pop and swaps.
Oh yeah.
Now you're getting to see kind of the idea of what you can use these parts for. And this is kind of the look I'm thinking right here.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, it's why I'm interested in that new piece, because this piece doesn't really have that.
I've got an extra Mbara too, so yeah, I might have to think about that.
Oh, is that what that is?
The Mbara
Cosmic
waist
Legion's
and
armor
and torso piece. Yeah.
which I still need
It's
to
kind
pick
of a
up one
druid
her.
look to her. Yeah.
Right. I need to pick up one of her just for her actual scorpion look, but then this is making me kind of want multiples because now I want to use those pieces to make like an elite kind of female military unit.
What wings were those? The silver ones?
I will get there.
Aetheron or what's her name?
The
Joe,
Night
help me out.
Woman.
I think that those wings are D13 wings.
You know what? You're probably right because that is
Those
not
aren't.
the same.
Those are not the
sculpt.
mythic. The mythic Legion wings are like twice as that size and would be pulling the figure over.
Those look good on her though.
Yeah,
they really do, and I'm glad he showed this too because that was the other thing.
That'll be my first D13 purchase now.
right.
Huh? Yeah, she looks great.
Yeah,
that's for the other he has risen figure. But yeah,
I'm just gonna go ahead right now and put that on top of the tree.
Terrence.
I like the little decay spots on that face.
Yeah,
liver spots, man.
Mm-hmm.
It happens when you get older.
Or sunspots. I've definitely got a couple.
Maybe she gets into one of those other kind of deals. Something with a cup. I don't know. Thor Anacostia says, "Okay, guys, happy Saturday morning. I just hopped. Tell me what I missed. Is this a new female figure?" Yes, it is. Figura Obscura has dropped this morning, and she is absolutely gorgeous. The Ghost of Christmas Past. We've been looking at all the amazingness now. Again, Bill's got a whole video up. I'm going to watch it in depth a little bit as we've been going through it here. But this is our Ghost of Christmas Past. And Brian Carr in the chat saying, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, Brian. Glad to have you here, brother. Thank you.
Oh, hey, there's Trevor.
I was going to say, did Trevor come over?
Yeah, his stream's over. So.
I was going to say, Trevor's stream's over because he wouldn't be here if he was still going.
Right.
Trevor, you're killing it, brother. These photos.
Oh, man.
Like, what can we say? And, of course, we're showing off Bill's video already.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's just outstanding.
It looks cold, but it's hot fire.
Right.
I love this lighting right here.
Yeah. The lighting to emphasize the paint app and really give it that candle look, which is sweet. So Jeff White says, just looking at the release email sent this morning, it does seem they are definitely locked into finishing Christmas Carol. It says Marley and Pass are just the first two in the set. And, they kind of left it open like that at the end of the little book last year. They said we would be haunted again, and clearly we are. And that wording, that specific wording of haunted again, always kind of had me leaning towards the other ghosts. But that's because they can have the creative fun. Scrooge looks like just a human, like an old man.
We need some old man figures. Old man and dad dads. Come on.
He's gonna be the buffest old man, though. Come on.
Yeah.
I honestly hope they do like a super frail
yeah, me too.
body. That'd be great.
That's what I love.
Kind of like that Poxus body or Red Death body for
the Red Death.
Yeah.
Stephen Bishotti repainted the Red Death body a flesh tone, and Wolf King, he did a Scrooge head for Wolf King, like a 3D printed one. And it actually looks really good on there. Like it looks like an old man body.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It could definitely work for that. And yes, Thor, she has 4 arms. There's a new.
If she didn't have 4 arms, her hands would be at her elbows. So that would be weird.
That would be weird.
I keep hearing that joke. Like every time
Please make sure you continue to make that joke throughout the rest of the day, Joe. I'll be disappointed if you don't. And Ray Paz is asking, will they eventually do female double elbows?
I hope not.
I'm gonna say Joe hopes not, but without a doubt.
The thing is that they don't need a double elbow. They like what they did with the Valiant Knight. You can extend where the elbow bends and get a much larger range without sacrificing the sculpt. So I don't think they need to be a double elbow and add that ugly joint. I think that Eric can do some pretty amazing things to keep the look of it.
Cool ones in armor, though. So
right.
I don't know. I hear you on the sculpt for sure. I think there's ways around it, and I'm sure they'll find ways to improve it. But I love getting that full extent, or that not extension, whatever the opposite of extension is.
Right, flexion. Right. So, and to what you guys are saying here, right? Like, they're going to do it when it's going to work and when it's going to look the way they want it to. Because just look at the dragon. Honestly, like when they first brought that thing out, I thought it was static. I didn't realize that was an actual fully articulated figure all the way through.
Yeah.
Like they said it, and I was having a hard time believing it because I couldn't see the articulation points. Then you see it in person and you see the articulation points, but they're so well sculpted into the build that you don't notice them. It doesn't break that image at all.
Yeah.
And for Lone Dragon asking about D13 real quick, Joe, I'm going to let you go right after that to say what you're going to say.
Sure.
So D13 is a toy line that is based off of biblical or classic depictions of biblical. I don't like using the term characters, but really that's the most accurate. So like if you ever went to a church when you were younger, you saw the old pictures of the demons and all that kind of stuff, like those very almost dark age style artwork for religious depictions. That's what D13 is. And Chris does an amazing job with those. I love his continued repaint, of reuse. We've had statue versions now in like bronze and everything else come out, as well as like almost the marbled looks. And then like even these exclusive holiday ones he just put out with the different colors. So definitely Google D13 toys and check them out because they are
Chris is a good dude too. Like
he is so fun to just talk.
He puts on a hell of a character, and being loud and obnoxious and things like that. But he's a super nice guy in real life too. So he deserves all the success that he has.
I like seeing all these demons, but I'm really waiting for the Jesus and Moses figures that I have. Ordered.
Those are really cool.
Yeah. The St. Anthony is one that I'm looking forward to as well. I like the kind of monk style, like robes that he comes with.
Yeah, and then all the accessories that come with too. Really cool stuff.
And they were giving us those more traditional Roman armor, like centuries and stuff like that too, that he put in there. If you're into that we're just now getting from Four Horsemen. So we'll see who delivers first. All right. So Thor's mentioning, sorry guys, big to differ here, but I think she should have double elbows because you want to pose her with swords or spears. Hey man, totally. Like, that's.
Oh, yeah. No, that's just Joe being a crotchety old man. I totally get what people are saying. It's just like the aesthetic of the line. I don't want to have Marvel Legends next to, not that there's anything wrong with Marvel Legends. I'm not saying that. I just don't want to put a Marvel Legends on my shelf next to my
it's jarring to have like that.
Have the look change so much. Now, one of the things though, it's the Horsemen's 25th anniversary. They've been making toys for a really long time. I know at least the old school way was that they would have a sculptor come in and sculpt the figure, and then they had someone different come in to do the articulations, like at big companies like Mattel and Hasbro, where Eric Treadaway has a lot of experience making these figures, like the whole shebang, I guess. I can't think of a better way to say it. Adding the articulation, everything. I think that after seeing the Red Death buck and the Valiant Knight buck, that he can find a way to add those extra ranges of motion without going to just established joints that don't look like they fit into the Mythic Legions line. That's all I mean by that.
Yeah. I think they will eventually do double joint. I don't think they'll do it every time, just where it works. And
Right.
I'm sure they'll put the care in to make sure it looks good when they do it.
Well, they added butterfly joints to the knolls, to the cacklers for the new way, and I'm not sold on that. I'm kind of got a wait and see attitude and like what I think, but
I think once you get it in hand, you'll be pleasantly surprised with how they work it in, and
and I suspect you're not going to go, this sucks. I just have
done with this line.
A slight suspicion.
They finally added more articulation.
That would probably be unlikely.
I hope you get them right before April Fools, so you can make a video just being like, "I'm done with the line." They killed it.
If Joe was done with the Four Horsemen, that would be the apocalypse.
I'm like the unarticulation snob. Like, I want less. Give me statues. So.
No, I mean, there's a place for it all. Like I think there's a place for it all. At the end of the day, there's a bunch of different figure options out there. But I also do like that the Horsemen are sort of understanding kind of where things are at, the zeitgeist of like toys right now, and they're figuring out a way to make their system work. And that's the genius of their system, right? Here, real quick, if you want to pop this. We're talking about how this overlay works. They've created a system where you can fully disassemble these figures and put them back together. Which allows you all these cool like opportunities to innovate. And that's what they're doing now with that articulation, right? They're like, well, at the end of the day, I think there's a world where, as long as, the butterfly is a different deal, but even if you had a butterfly torso, you could probably still make it work with existing arms, right? Just port them in, maybe depending on the construction. But then with the arms, and there's a world too, where you can have arms that pop out that have the double joint there, and I don't know, so I just feel like that's ultimately the genius of their system. It's that flexibility. I just wanted to show this because I was trying to figure out, to wrap my head around how she's how the Ghost of Christmas Past is going to work. So she's got that sort of like Zeri's two pieces, right? You've got the little what do you call it?
You got the belt, and then you got the crotch flap.
The crotch flap,
it would be called a cod piece, but it's a crotch flap.
Hers is more like that. It kind of wraps around, but hers is a single piece that sort of includes this.
Right.
Kind of coming under the bum.
Dylan mentioned it earlier. The Frankenstein's creature had that black waist piece for the pants when you put pants on them.
And that was just like wasn't that like a rubber thing? One rubber piece around the waist?
Yeah, just a single piece that you could pop.
This one's a little bit more shaped, right? This one.
Yes. It's meant to be. I don't know. I don't want to say it's meant to be looked at, but it's meant to be more aesthetically pleasing.
Yes. Yeah. So this is what you got going on, and I think that's where, to back to the articulation piece, they're brilliant, man. They've
sorry, Bert.
They've built a system where they can explore a little bit, and now that things are moving, and they heard it. There have been people who've been criticizing it for a while now, years even. But it's like, it's silly to me for people to be like, this line sucks, and it's like, then be quiet and go buy something else. It's all good. The line's like some of the best, gold standard as far as like sculpts to me.
Well,
saying it sucks is a bit disingenuous and be like, it's not my thing. That's fine.
A bit American,
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right,
Yeah,
right. There's a way to be critical about stuff without having to dump on it, right? Like you can literally just say, look, I like a little bit more articulation. These aren't for me. Me personally, the amount of articulation that they've given me with what I already have has been perfect. I love it.
I took a picture with Bastet where she's like crawling basically, and like getting her into that pose was frustrating. I cussed at that toy a bunch of times because the torso kept popping off, and like, I'm like, okay,
sure.
But I got her in the pose I wanted. She looked super cool, and I love that figure, even though it frustrated me at the time of taking that picture.
It's a stunning figure. It's absolutely stunning.
Well, that's what I was going to say, though, is like anybody that says that you can't put them in good poses needs to get on Instagram and look at Thanos's pictures and the multitude, Emerald Knight and Trevor, that to say that you can't get them into good poses is not accurate because there's so much photography where they just look amazing.
And to that point too, Trevor a lot of times is again working from a prototype, which doesn't hold up as well when you're trying to pose them as the fully like some of the pictures he gets on here are a little bit better and probably more dynamic because this was a fully fleshed out product, right? And whereas normally he gets that prototype and he's got to figure out a way to pose it, and it may not really go together so well the way he wants to pose it. It may not hold up, trying to put it that way. So it's really great now what they're adding to it, what they're going to be able to get into, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for it too, because it just keeps getting better. And again, for those of you just getting into Mythic Legions, just getting into Figura Obscura, all right, maybe not so much just getting into Figura Obscura, but for Mythic Legions at least, don't go back. Don't worry about going back too much. Buy everything new that's coming out because it's really only getting better. And, the cost on some of the older figs is really expensive. She's available right now, Thor. Go over to storehorseman.com. Get yourself an all-in if they still got them available for $75 or 60 for just the figure.
77 shipped to California. That $5
Which is something else you can't argue with either. That $10 flat rate really makes it better for you guys out west.
Again, with a system, my thing is if the Horsemen now that they've developed this body, they can explore double elbows by just giving us an alternate arm. The butterfly is going to be a little trickier, but at the end of the day, they can just give us a different torso, an alternate torso. There's a world where they could, revisit every single existing character and either give us a whole new figure or like, okay, here's the torso and arms. I don't think that's going to happen, but like it's all possible. So it's like I really need a highly posable Zuri who can do this, then there's because of the system that they've built and the way they've sort of created this figure line, they can do it.
You need to put armory experience in like kiosks at the mall and then like vending machines just full of parts like at different places.
I'm all for it. I want the Build-A-Bear workshop for Legions to go everywhere because that was amazing.
I want to address Ray's comment though about saying he never said they suck. Oh, Ray, we weren't picking. Yeah, we weren't picking on you. Sorry,
not at all.
We took your comment and then lumped in all the criticisms that people have for Horseman product. That wasn't directed at you, buddy. Not
at all, brother. Not at all. Ray, honestly, we know you're a fan of the series. You've bought stuff previously before. We totally get it. And yeah, definitely. Full range of motion is nice.
And I'll just say, like in this whole toy game, like, or just criticism, whatever, living in the world. If you did say it sucked, then you said it sucked. It's like it's fine. It's just trying to then address, okay, well then let's pause here on the emotion piece and just sort of understanding what it is. And that's what I'm all about, man. I love, hey, look at this guy. I love these figures. I love what they've done. So I'm not, I'm open to people saying it sucked. I just wish they could explain that.
Oh, so you have to be a photographer that works for the company to get them early, huh?
That's right.
Trevor's a liar, man. I was watching him before I finally got my butt out of bed.
I'm a
and
good
he's like,
liar, Brick.
well, we're not saying that they're not going to do. Yeah, you kept said between you and
man.
what it was.
What
is
was
you
I
said,
saying?
We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. I was like, you liar. And then right next to you is Bill. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what's coming.
Well,
Well
you know,
done,
you gotta toe the company line, but
yeah, no, I
That
totally
that you got to
I
do.
was laughing.
So, guys, there it is. Figure in hand. Look at that. 3 different head sculpts, 2 different sets of hair, a lamppost that'll work.
yeah,
Trevor,
I love
take it
the
away.
I love the swappable heads in the hair. I really think that's cool. I really want to see a lot more of that going forward.
Yeah.
It's something I talked to Jeremy about, like the possibilities of, at least in between humans. You know, I realize different species and different head shapes are going to be tricky to do, but like, you know, you keep the top of a female head similar, and you could probably do that between figures. I really like the idea of it, because then you can do expressions, right, without having to do the entire mold. You could just have the hair, and then give me a like this. Like they're not exactly different expressions, but they're different looks to the face. You know what I mean? Which would be cool.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're
Different paint
kind of
apps
doing it
bring out
with the
different detail.
goblins. The swig and the deluxe goblin legion builder, the hood and the helmet are keyed the same way, so you can actually swap the heads in between those.
yes,
different looks. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're already kind of doing it.
Yeah, and the faceplates, right? The faceplates within the framework of the knight cowls there. But I definitely want to see, like, with a male, it might be kind of weird to just do, like, if it's a Attila or something like that, to just you may as well just do another, the way they did it, they just do another expression with the full head of hair. You don't need to pop that hair off. But anything with long hair, or longish hair, would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah, where you can really kind of like tuck or hide like any break or whatever in the mold. But even short hair though, because like the Lady J figure that came out for Classified, right? Like she's got the swappable hair and hat. One of it's the hair sculpt with the hat on it, and then you can pop that off, and then you pop on just the hair, no hat, and it's
that's
a
what I was
good way to have different looks.
I was gonna say, then think about all the customizers who could now just do hair pieces for that head and all sorts of stuff.
And I'm thinking, like, you got a head pack. You could have a head pack with hair. So, like, even if it was like, it's tricky to do like a bald head that's gonna have something keyed in for that. You'd have to put something on it, but like. Because I was thinking like a mohawk, but that's going to be tricky. You know what I mean? Because if it's depending on the shape,
give it
head,
like
unless it's a perfectly round head.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, that's true. You could do the rest of the skull. There'd be a little seam or something, but like that. But you could do that. But just different hairstyles would be cool between an expression or something like that. To have like an orc set with different long-haired orc, a short-haired orc. It'd be kind of cool.
A mohawk orc. I'm down for that.
Well, we were even looking at the Bill's video where he does a turnaround of the sort of undressed body and without the hair, and Ghost in the Shell came up, and I'm thinking about like Cosmic, all the cool like head attachments that you could potentially do with that head. That would be more on the sci-fi tip. You could do snake hair. You could do all sorts of really cool things.
Totally all for that, right? Like, I mean, and I'm not opposed to just some bald heads too, like, because I'm bald. I wouldn't mind a just straight bald head that wasn't an orc.
My head's even shiny. So.
Right? I don't mind getting lumped in with the orcs, but, it'd be nice if I didn't have to be one.
So, Trevor, is that your personal one that you've got there? Were there multiple ones that you've had, or?
I just have the one. Yeah, just the one.
But that's not the one that you shot then. They gave you
the one I
different.
shot.
Oh, it is
the one I shot. Yeah.
So you repacked it.
So I had a repack. Yeah. Usually I'll do the packaging shots first, but I don't know. I just wanted to get. It was a big setup.
He wanted to play with the toy.
Well, yeah, but it's always a big setup for that. Like there's a lot of snow. You know what I mean? And I was gonna do some indoor shots first, and I don't know, whatever. I just made it harder on myself to have to put it all back into the box. That's fine.
Yeah, so you can get those
That's
pictures,
what I
but
do. Yeah.
Hey, while
know
you
what,
got
Yeah.
the
So
back,
this is all wired,
Oh.
like the two separate, two separate pieces. Again, CJ, I just told him on his Instagram, he killed it again. Like, just amazing.
oh, yeah.
But you could, you can separate them by side. You could have it a little wider. She could be a little more angelic if you have them out like this. There's ways
that's
to
awesome.
get some.
Is it
stuff
one
out
garment
Of it. Very,
sewn together? Like, are they attached at the
I
top?
think at the top they're attached.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are attached. So it's like kind of a shoulder
Yeah.
piece.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then they're just stitched together at the top. So it's the very top. So you got a lot of play with that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room.
Yeah, there's a lot that people can do with this thing, right? Whether it's like, a Grecian kind of thing or...
And the fact that we have this, I'm sure we'll get some different hairstyles with this. I think this is great right there. I mean, if I...
You're right.
I might take one of these things and like just green stuff to
Fill
top
it
of
in.
it and make a kind of a bald head to it because it looks kind of cool.
That's what I was saying. Like, give me a Mythic Legion Sinead O'Connor. I'd be down for it.
Or what's her face from Star Trek 1 there, right?
Oh, yeah. There we
right,
go.
right.
But yeah, the
all right.
dress is gorgeous. It's amazing.
Trevor,
It's
just out of curiosity, do you know what the inspiration for the 4 arms was, other than just to look cool?
Yeah, because in the story, like if you read the story, it's not exactly that, but at one point it says, she kind of shimmers and turns from like an old man to a young child. I think it says, I don't even think it says like a young girl, it just says a child to an old man. And then at one point it has either legs or arms, like 20 legs and 3 heads. And, so she's amorphous and like constantly kind of changing in front of your eyes until she sort of takes a form. But a lot of people will do it as an androgynous character. Most people do it as a woman. But yeah, in the book, it's not really set down in stone. So
Right. They don't have it gendered. Just kind of like, again, some of the depictions of Christmas Present is a little bit more generic and less, because again, they're spirits. So, but that's exactly the kind of question that Ray was asking. Like, what were the reasons to make the character female? I mean, it came out of Trevor's head, or it comes out of Eric's head, not Trevor's. So, I mean, we can't really say what that reason was. I know one of my favorite depictions of the Ghost of Christmas Past is the one from Scrooged, where it's a female, and she's wearing like the sugar plum fairy dress. And wouldn't it be cool if she had some, fairy wings, like they re-released those kind of thing. And I mean, that's not the way they went, but I'm definitely not disappointed with what we got. I think she's fantastic for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they went female, because I like getting some other great female characters. And again, with this new body already, brain's going, what can I make out of it? How can I get more of these? When can I be able to afford more of these?
Hey, that figure that you have there, Trevor, what about the arm attachments? Is that we were looking at it, looks like it can only go one way, right? Like sort of on the small of her back.
Or could you flip it up?
Oh, the back
other
adapter.
way?
Does the back adapter only fit on one way?
It's keyed.
If you break your toy, blame it on Brick.
Within the back, so I don't know if you could. I mean, the way it's keyed, you could flip it upwards, so like it does go like that. Like if you want it. Like I can't get the cape. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to put it. You'd have to work it through the cape or take the cape off, which is part of the dress, I believe. Yeah, it's attached to the dress. So, but if you had another figure, you could totally put it up like that. I mean, it looks really weird because it's got these shoulder pieces that are sticking up. But I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could make some.
I'm just saying, the mind's playing. The mind.
But you could take them off and just have her two armed as well. You don't have to have the 4 arms on her, obviously.
Right.
Which is cool because, like, that's kind of the description. I was looking up the description in the book. I was going to try and read it, but I forgot my glasses. So, like, it's something like, and it's black on white type, which is ridiculous, or white type on black. The figure itself fluctuated in distinctiveness, being now a thing with one arm, now with one leg, now with 20 legs, now with a pair of legs without a head, now a head without a body, of which dissolving parts, no outline would be visible in the dense gloom wherein they melted away, and something. Anyway, that's
so
the thing. It's
Dickens
just kind of like, morphing and changing as you
yeah.
go along,
He was
which is
predicting
impossible to
pop
make
and
as
swap.
a figure, but
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, they can just give you a pile of putty and have at it, but Terrence says it right here. He goes, he thinks the arms allow the idea of a flame having a morphing form. And that's really what it boils down to. It's supposed to be very morphing. It is a flame. It's a candle to life.
Spirit, ghost-like, yeah.
Hey, Trevor, Nate's box art, that sort of like magnetic board piece, are all of those people actual human beings?
I believe
There's
they are,
some
yes.
that
I'm
we
not going to
didn't
show
recognize.
it. You can you watch Bill's video. I think
Yeah,
Bill's
yeah.
video gives us
We
the
were-
whole look. We showed it.
I actually don't know who everybody is in this, believe it or not.
Okay.
But,
Just wondering. That's
I think I do, but I'm not sure. They look great. They're incredible. Some of them are smack you in the face with who they are, and some of them are like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not sure.
Yeah, the first one I saw was, of course, naturally, Walter just sitting off to the side there, looking
he's
fantastic and smashing. He's got the Walter the Mad look.
And then when we were looking at Bill's video, we were loving the gym reveal. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did see that. Okay, you did see
Yeah.
the gym.
Yeah.
We
So
brought
you saw
up
the
Bill's
whole thing.
video and we're kind of going through it, and then we were telling
okay.
everybody, go watch the whole thing over on Bill's channel.
I gotcha.
We try to do that. But we had to see, we're curious, and since we're here live, like, we wanted to go check it out and see some of these things that, we're trying to figure out and talk about just looking from your photos. And just seeing the all around, and man, they really did knock it out of the park again.
Yeah,
just completely killed it with this release.
this came
I
up
went
earlier.
all in.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I went all in again. Told Terrence, I was like, I need to get an all in on this one. So
This came up earlier. We were wondering when you got the figure and how long you had, and when Bill got it and how long he was able to.
Yeah, who gets theirs first?
Holiday, given the holiday and everything.
I think I got mine first, only because they try and give it to me like, it's time to do a video. I know it takes Bill time to do the video, but like I think it takes just a little longer to do photographs, obviously. So lots of different setups and things. So I got it before I started shooting Reign of the Beasts, and took a couple pictures.
So you have had this a while.
September, I would say, somewhere in September, mid-September, something like that. And then that stuff started coming in, and I just had to put it aside. Luckily, he didn't need it until like last week, for everything.
Right
so,
now.
Yeah.
Man,
so, yeah.
I gotta tell you, I don't know how you do it. How you can just sit on that. I was saying earlier today.
I want to keep doing this. So
you're the one person. Like, I don't mind playing poker, and I can get a pretty good read on people. But you are definitely one of the people I would never, ever play poker against. Because
I've been told that by people I played poker against too. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to beat you, and I don't like to lose. So,
well, it depends on my.
If I lose by my own luck, you're right. If I'm losing by my own luck, that's it. But I have a skill of reading people, and I would not be able to do. I just noticed they did release the Krampus skateboard again. We should get that for Punk, just because sometimes he can be a Krampus.
Sorry,
just
good stuff. Again, like I think the Varg. Oh, sorry, Brick.
Oh, I was just gonna say because I was curious if what's sold out yet, but so far the all-ins are still there, folks.
Yeah,
So
still
far,
available.
even the pins are there. Like somebody was on my show. Curtis was saying
sold
that
out.
Pins are gone.
Pins are
Pins
sold
are
out.
now gone. I
Separate
just refreshed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, single pins are gone.
So that's a curious question. How much did Curtis cry that it was just a single figure?
He was cool about it. Like, I mean, I told him go post your hatred on the Cabal, but like everybody does. That's where it's the place for it. No, it's not.
He was crying on
Don't
the
do
inside.
that. Don't. Just keep it to yourself. You know, I don't want to start a tangent on that, but like you can express some disappointment, but like not like it should have been this or it should have been that. It's like it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm glad
it's
it
gonna
was
be.
Like I would have liked to have seen this. I would have liked. I think it's just approach. I'd like to see more people take a more even-handed approach to their commentary, as opposed to, you know, like this sucks, not for me, easy pass, you know, blah blah blah. You know, it's just like, all right, man, like I'm not really sure how you're helping out here with that comment. You know what I mean? Yeah, because everybody has to know what I'm not buying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
In mine and Bill's line of work, we like to say, please use I statements. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, and that's a big thing too, right? Like this is going to be what the Horsemen want it to be, and they
that's
have
what it
a
is, yeah.
production
Take it or
schedule
leave
that
it.
they are going to follow, right? So no matter what you think it should be, it's going to be what they want it to be, and I like the idea of the fact that they don't have to go into a planning phase for next year because it's already part of the plan, right? So they kind of know that next year we're probably going to see, again, another ghost from this. And that's okay.
Mhm.
Like, I'm totally fine with that because I do want to get the complete set.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
real quick on that, Oz. So he had the figure, which is a production figure in September. If you do the backwards planning, I'm pretty sure they figured out what's happening for next year.
I was going to say they had this. I'm sure they've had this plan since before we got Marley. So let's just put it out there. Like
I think it may have depended on how Marley went too, though. You know what I mean? Like, because Marley could be a one and done figure. You know what I mean? And if it was like the interest wasn't there, then I think that might have been all we got, which could be the case. I mean, again, we were saying on my show that, like, you know, these guys with Figura Obscura, it's kind of stuff that they want to do. Like Eric is interested in it, and he wants to. It's kind of his personal pet project thing that we all benefit from. But they are a business, so if it ain't working, and that's kind of what, like, I was telling Curtis, like, well, I wasn't telling Curtis, it was my suggestion last night and today, or just said it. Like, he said, there's a lot of like winter characters that you could do, and you know, I'm thinking, okay, there's a Yeti, there's somebody brought up an Irish winter witch, which could look cool.
oh yeah,
you know, I think there was a gnome from somewhere. I don't know what the hell that was all about. It's probably like a Santa Claus takeoff or something. Yeah. But the thing with that is they also have to be like sellable characters. Yes, it's cool even if people don't know what they are, because a lot of people didn't know the Red Death, a lot of people didn't know Monkey King, but they're cool looking figures. So it has to be a cool looking figure. Not to say that Eric couldn't take anything and make it look cool, but it's the interest there. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, there may be a lot of myths around winter or the holidays or something like that, but are they interesting enough characters that people are going to buy them? You know what I mean? Whereas Christmas Carol is a known and a pretty popular story around those times, and now it's a collection. Now people are going to want it because they've already bought into it. You know what I mean? Like nah, I'm not getting to get Ghost of Christmas Present. I hate that dude. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're gonna get them all. Like, you know, you're gonna get them all.
Yeah.
Last year when I picked up Jacob Marley, I knew what I was signing on for. Until we get like, and then I'd be disappointed if we didn't get the rest of the three ghosts. Like, now that we're getting into the Ghost of Christmas Past,
and it has to be public domain.
I need to see present and future as well.
Yeah.
And sure, people can say retail release Father Christmas is present, and then, you know, again, that Maxilius could be a stand-in for your future. No. Eric's going to give us distinct characters for those. And again, I would have never thought this for...
There's a lot of new tooling on that figure, too. A lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. The head.
Yeah.
We were talking about the waist piece earlier, that new waist piece for it. That just works like the belt piece for all the rest of Mythics, right?
I didn't even get that far, I'll be honest. Like, a lot of people ask me questions about these things, and I'm like, dude, I barely have time to shoot them, so I'm not analyzing them. That's what I wait for Bill's analysis to do. But yeah, it's kind of just it's just a regular. You're talking about the crotch torso piece, right? Like the connector there. Yeah,
the kind of granny.
Yeah, it doesn't
paintings
have
put on.
openings like most of the figures do for a flat piece or whatever, like a what do you call that?
Like this?
Loin piece.
The loin cloth type of piece. Like it doesn't have
the cod
that,
piece.
So,
Yeah.
it doesn't have that for it. So it's a little more full. It's more. Well, actually, wait a minute. That is a cod piece, isn't it? Oh, it is. No, I'm wrong. So if you want to get weird for a minute here, like this is actually just a rubber piece that just sits over the top of that. So it's just a standard. Yeah, this is best.
But it's
best
one
stats.
piece though, right, Trevor? It's like, from what we could tell from Bill's, it looks like, unlike Zuri, who I've got here, it's not two separate pieces. It looks like that you kind of pop up the waist off and take it above, if that makes sense. It looks like one wraparound-ish piece.
Which is kind of the same. What are we talking about? The wraparound piece?
Here, take a look. So here you can take this, and that's one piece, and then this belt.
Oh yeah, there is no belt piece per se.
It's all one.
It is the combination of a wrap. It's basically a wraparound cod piece, whatever we're calling that. It's that, but it wraps around
panty.
as opposed to just being a flat. Yeah, it's a panty of sorts. Yes.
It's a panty separated at the bottom for.
Weird to be talking about toys panties, but yes. Okay.
It's what they are. They're granny panties for the toys. Let's face it, folks. You're covering up your
that's not
crotch
new
hole and your
tooling.
boom
I mean,
boom hole.
that's a new piece. Yes, so that is new tooling. Technically,
It is new tooling.
Yeah,
but it's nice because it makes that area smooth under the soft goods.
Yes.
So that there's not a lump from like a belt piece and something like
right.
that.
And if you want something
like
if you've got a custom that you want a belt on, but you don't necessarily want any kind of flappy piece, and you want to hide that, it's great for that. You know what I mean? If you're doing like a superhero character or something like that. So
Hey, well, we have you popped it up earlier. Can you pop it up again? Now I have a question for Rever. You're talking about sellable. I'm wondering if, do you know if people like these? So here in the Bay Area, actually, I think either this weekend or next weekend, I'm going to go to this. We have this whole Dickens Fair thing where people plan for months. Like these are hardcore Christmas Carol
That's
people.
Cool, man. I'd love to.
I wish we had something like that. Yeah, it says they used to use my old school as sort of like the rehearsal. They take it on a weekend and they do trainings and stuff because
That's great.
It's like Ren Fair. You have to be in character and everything. I'm curious if you've heard, are people beyond the action figure community learning about these figures and going back? And has there been an effort to kind of hey, let's market to these folks at all?
I don't want to speak too much for Jeremy, but I know that with the 4-pack of skeletons that came out, that those, I think part of that is to get those into stores that wouldn't necessarily carry toys. They're just cool little Halloween
spirit
things.
of Halloween.
Yeah, or I don't know, a bookstore or something like that, a Barnes and Noble or something like that, where it could be literarily adjacent, which these could be too. Obviously, it's literature.
It's literature.
But I don't know what the efforts are to get it into a Barnes and Noble, or I don't know if they want to do that. I'm not really sure they're ready to. I mean, they distribute to retailers, so I don't know why they couldn't do that, but maybe because Barnes and Noble is a national chain, they wouldn't necessarily. I think gift stores and things like that, I think that's what they're, Toy Fair is for those kind of buyers, you know what I mean? And they were at Toy Fair, I think at the last Toy Fair. So that may be an effort this year at Toy Fair to talk to more small retailers about, small bookstores, mom and pop things, small chains. Barnes and Noble, I don't know if they can handle that. I think it'd be great if they did, but I don't know.
And that's because I know when it comes to national chains, last night I brought up the burger cookies, right? It's a very popular cookie in the DMV area around here, and you can't find it at national chains because a lot of the national chains want the national distribution. And for such, although it is a professional bakery, and for the size of the bakery that they are, to produce enough to distribute across the nation is unrealistic. And that's why like they can't get into places like Walmart, because Walmart's like, no, we need them in all of our stores. Like you can't just have them in the local Walmarts. We have to have them in all of our Walmarts. Whereas like a local grocery store that's got like 5 or 6 grocery stores in the area, they're like, well, yeah, we'll take them to all of our stores, and you just deliver to those 5 or 6. So, you know, and I'm sure Barnes and Noble would probably be along that same line of, well, no, we got to carry them at all of our Barnes and Noble. Could the distribution handle that?
That's what I'm saying. Like they usually when you're doing that stuff, you and it's not that they couldn't hand them off to a national distributor, but you take a little less money for that. There's a cost to that, and whether or not that's worth it is something I guess they'd have to explore. Maybe they already have. I don't know. But I think it'd be cool, like to see that on both of those on like a Barnes and Noble shelf or something like that. Would be like, I think people would pick that up as a Christmas, thing for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I asked, because you're mentioning it has to be sellable at the end of the day. They need to sell these things, and it seems like I bring up those Dickens thing because like clearly there's an established like fan base. If you can reach them, it's a whole other thing. But like that makes sense why you would want to hang out in this little world of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol for a couple of seasons. So I think
Can I make this weird in for the sake of a joke?
No, it's
please. I think that's appropriate for
what we were talking about on Offworld last night. I've come up with the perfect name for this. I mean, okay, well, it is an androgynous character, but it's the Dickens flap.
Yes, there we go. Because we were calling it the codpiece, the diaper. It's totally a Dickens flap.
It's the Dickens flap.
So do you use the Dickens flap, or do you just like over the fence?
Over the chimney, down the
right. If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, we're not going to explain it. If you want to figure it out, go watch Let's Go Offworld last night. Sorry, I got to plug the other shows on it. Right. It was a pretty long one last night.
It was good. Sure. It was funny though.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. I got to get going, but I appreciate the 4:30 a.m. streams. I'm sorry I was late.
That's right. Oh, geez, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, look,
I know. I asked somebody from Cali the other day to come on my show, and I'm like, oh wait, that's like 4 o'clock in the morning for you. Never mind.
Yeah. So, Brick, totally. Thank you again for all the work you did with the new overlays and intro and everything like that. I know you were traveling while doing all that, so thank you for being able to get that done. And
for sure.
Thank you for the early morning wake up. Normally when we do these, like we've been doing a couple of them offline, so it doesn't really matter when we show up or how we look when we do it. So
to be clear, there's 3 of us up here who have to wake up real early. So
I was gonna say, well, I was thanking you because I know you're just about to go.
Yeah, we love this stuff. But also, yes, and I'm happy. The reason I wanted to spend the time is because you and I have been talking about. I know you've mentioned this already, but we are gonna come back to Legion's class, and I love doing the artwork for it. It's like, oh, let's do a Figura Obscura Legion's class logo, a mythic one, and a cosmic one. So I'm looking forward to that too, and talking more about Legion's horseman stuff, especially for folks who are just exploring it or figuring it out. So all right, with that all, I'm gonna go back to bed before we try and enjoy a Saturday.
All right, man.
All right, Brick. Enjoy.
See you, man.
Good stuff, Trevor. Bye, guys.
So
that's cool.
Trevor, how much is new tooling on that figure? Like is the upper arms and thighs still the old molds?
I think the upper arms are best stat. I think the lower body is best stat. I think the entire torso is best stat, actually.
Well, not the chest piece, because the chest piece is the wrap on best stat.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So
like, there's no sculpting on this chest piece.
Yeah, so this may be a new torso. I'm trying to think. Everybody asks me like I'm an expert on this. I'm like, I'm not. I don't know. I think
you should know by now, Trevor,
because it's got the attached neck with the hinged neck, so it's got to be a new piece.
Right.
I don't think anybody else.
We need you to analyze these figures.
I mean, it may be based on like
level.
just one of the. Oh no, it can't be either. No, that's the first. Yeah, it can't be. No, it's got to be new.
Right on.
Yeah, because it's. I'm not getting weird either, but it is smooth. There is no underlying bodice or anything like that on here. So
right,
it's neat.
because what Brick was showing off with the Ziri figure, it's like, yeah, it's the same style build for the torso because it's got kind of that like ab crunch motion mid torso, but hers has sculpting on top of it for the armor. And even with Bastet, she's got the wraps that cover the breasts. And it's like, this doesn't have any of that. It is strictly, skin, basically a nude buck.
And bands, there are bands on Bastet's arms. I mean, I think they're the basic sculpt. Whether or not that was something that could be, I don't know if those were. I don't actually know if those are post. I think they're part of the sculpt. I mean, I know they don't come off, but I don't know if they're glued on or not. I haven't really tried to take them off, so I don't know.
Give me a sec. I'll check real quick.
Yeah, I got it here, but like they are on there. This also comes apart, so you can take the top off.
Oh, nice.
You can take the secondary piece off, and you can just have the base, and I think that's it. That's all. That comes
man, that middle piece would look good with a Templar.
Yeah,
if you're doing like a historical kind of shot. Yeah.
I mean, you can use it for different things. Plus, like I'm thinking, I think I would love these to be lit up, but the cost of that, I'm sure, would be add another like
too much.
$15 to it for most people, like not even using it.
Right.
But the fact that it's open, below there doesn't preclude you from running a wire. In fact, I think this may be is this hollow? Not hollow, but you could work it out somehow.
You can get a pin vise,
or I'll just send it to Carver Customs and have.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Next year's Legion's Con, Carver will have
I'm sure people will make
a conversion kit for it.
Yeah.
How many people have built their little side businesses around the lack of that kind of stuff from what the Four Horsemen give us? So it's like, yes, the Horsemen will give it to you so that you can. They gave you the guide
for those who want.
They know what they want, right?
Yeah,
like
for those
you want to go that extra mile.
Yeah, it's not going to be a selling point if it's going to be make this $60 figure an $80 figure. You know what I mean? So
right at that point, you're taking away from it. You're driving people away. Like people said, how much cheaper could they have made the HISS tank if they took out the electronics? And it's like, you know what? That was never part of their plan, but okay. They knew what they were doing.
Had lit up, I would have been like, "Oh my god, I want that." So,
for us,
but Thanos,
we're not the mass market.
You do some post editing, right? Like
I don't actually.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really bad about actually editing the photos.
You need to learn a little. Oneric.
You know what's funny is I'm actually pretty good at Photoshop. I've done like a bunch of stuff. Back in my Rebel days, I used to do like the signs and stuff. I've done some magazine Photoshop work. I haven't incorporated it into the toys.
So there's just like doing like I just shared some with you.
I'm gonna
doing
bring
like
it up
a
here.
little bit of a glow, with an overlay or something like that, a screen on top of it. But there's also this thing called Oneric, which I think is on sale right now. I think it's like $40 or something like that.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to take the overlay down that I have up so that we can really see that. There we go.
And that'll give you the ability to do some like kind of like glows and things like that. It just does a good job of like giving it an ambience around it. So, you could do a post. I mean, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. So.
I'm impressed.
But then your lighting for that photo, you're taking into account the fact that you're going to add that light.
Well, the light on her face and the light that's hitting her from the side. There's another light over here that's creating that light, obviously, because there's no light coming from here. But
I need to take a couple leaps in my photography. One, get an actual camera. Two, quit just doing like handheld all the time. Because I don't like use a tripod. I'm like this, and my hands aren't steady. So like I'm like trying to pick a picture.
And the camera can only compensate for so much too. Like I've got a GoPro that compensates for the shakiness, but
maybe if I cut down on caffeine, but I need that.
No.
That's 2 in 1 day, Terrence. 2 in 1 day, buddy.
You know what, Terrence? He's going to be on a lot of streams today. Are you really gonna push that button?
It's more than Curtis already.
Oh, more than Curtis. And you mean Curtis didn't push all those buttons earlier? Jeez.
You should get some swigs and paint them with blue lighting to bring to his thing.
Well, I have some swigs that I have to shoot for both Curtis and Kevin Boots, and Curtis might be more blue than usual.
Make sure it's completely bathed in blue.
If Curtis isn't underwater, I'll be disappointed. So,
Yeah.
with Trevor's hand around his neck at that. I mean, what?
right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. All right, guys. Well, you
Another
know what?
thing with-
Go ahead, Thanos. Please.
Another thing with my photos is I'm still like where I'm
that's what I was
shooting on
gonna
the
say.
shelves that were set up to display them. Like it's rare that I actually like clear off a big space and set something up, and so they're at like awkward angles and limited space to begin with.
Well,
So there's a lot of
hand-holding-
things I need to do. But
I mean, D Amazing was at intern, and he came in my class, which was weird. There was a couple of, who else was in there? Steve, Mank, I think. There's a couple of photographers in there at the same time. So it ended up just being a discussion between us and them. And he still hand holds. I mean, he's got a nice DSLR, but he still hand holds his camera. He doesn't use a tripod. And it works for him. You know what I mean? It can work. Like, you don't need a tripod, but
I don't have steady hands. Like my hands are always kind of like.
so you need a faster camera, but then you have to light for that shutter speed, right? You have to light pretty brightly for that shutter speed. I don't mean to turn this into a photo lesson.
No, please. I love hearing about this. 'Cause the last time I was in photo class was over 20 years ago, and a lot of things have changed, especially with newer cameras. We were still using mostly 35 millimeter back then. You didn't have a cell phone with a camera.
Yeah,
So
I know. Yeah, yeah. When I started photography, there was digital cameras, but they were like 2 megapixel, 3 megapixels, so they weren't.
Yeah.
great.
Oh
So
my God.
Still,
Yeah, they were
we were still
god-awful.
developing film, which made me hate photography. So.
It's a pain, but I did appreciate dark rooms because I'm photosensitive. So not having all the lights after taking a picture, 4 lights, is very nice to go back into the dark for a while and relax my eyes. But the smells,
It was just
oh
the
man,
chemicals. I hated
Yeah, the
That's
chemical
my main
smell.
thing. The
You
dark
gotta
I
have
was
it.
fine with. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's terrible. Anyway,
Yeah.
So
but a
Oh,
good
go ahead,
tripod
Oz.
is very helpful.
no, please, Joe.
The lighting. My dog actually ran by and caught my ring light cord and ripped it out of the ring light. So like the photos just don't look as good lately. I need to replace that or get some different lighting because it's just like you can tell the difference.
Okay, so
these little ads right here, I love this.
So maybe Brad can take over. I mean, that's some blue light, like all you MFers,
Right?
okay?
Right?
All right. I can't rewind that. I'm gonna go back to the beginning because,
Yeah.
Brad can
yeah,
take
sadly,
over this
no.
mantle. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
cool, but
It looks good.
that's blue.
That was definitely blue. That is a lot of blue.
And I don't
Well,
know if
that
that's
was-
him shouting out to me or what. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Brad.
This is an homage to Trevor.
So this is Brad Treadaway. This is Eric's brother. Does these video pieces,
Nice.
which are great.
Yeah.
It's nice to have.
The
So also the one
sad
that
part
did
with that whole blue light thing was that it being about Dubon's armor, like it made it not a good figure if depending on
Yeah.
what color the chest piece was. Like
Yeah,
it's an
And-
amazing
and it
figure.
is like silver and blue. It is
Yeah.
a
It is. It's so
Suck
sad
it.
because it's such an amazing figure that conversation should have never happened.
yeah. Oh, that little candle thing. That was the bane of my existence. I had to put like sticky tack up into that to keep it weighted down because I'm surprised it is moving there. There you go.
Right.
I was gonna
Anytime
say,
you-
jingling.
Anytime
the
you
whole
breathe or
time
blow
it's
some
going
smoke
around.
into the shot, it would start to move, and I'm like, oh,
Oh man. Well,
Nice. That's
and
cool. That's the first time I've seen that. That's really cool.
yeah, I haven't even looked at the IG accounts today. So like it was just all right, it's live, go, go, go.
Yeah.
Right.
I literally walked, stumbled into the kitchen, made coffee, and got online like as soon as I woke up.
That's pretty much the sum of my morning too. Like I'm sitting there thinking like set my alarms last night to make sure I'd be up.
Oh, there it is.
And when I woke up this morning, I'm hitting snooze on the alarms. And then when I finally realized what I was doing, I was like, oh crap, I got like 20 minutes to get online. I haven't even had a smoke yet.
Yeah,
I
this one
didn't
didn't make it
actually
onto
think I could
the,
get up
the
as early as I did today, but I wanted to hang out with you guys. So.
My dog got me up very early. I was really not happy about that.
4:30 is when I usually get up for work on Saturdays, but I'm off today. I could have slept in, but this is way more fun.
Yeah.
Right. Hanging out with your friends talking about these great toys is oftentimes way more fun than anything else that you should be doing. Just put it in that way. And we've had some people jumping in the chat here, and Mr. Wonderful saying, oh, is the whole Mythic Legion lore show. This is not that, but it is, as you can tell from the top there, where we've put the Legions class banner up under the Figura Obscura logo. Brick and I are bringing it back. Like, it's coming. We've got plans to have a new episode out where we're going to start back over from the beginning. We're going to deep dive the lore. Also, I did want to bring this back up too with Kenzo's Creations, saying, well, Oz, you did it again. I ordered her. This time she better make it out of the box, Kenny. You still got Mask of the Red Death in the box. Get her out of the box.
I love this whole setup. Like I'm just like lost looking at like the book.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Are those dollhouse accessories, Trevor, for like the bust and the books and the
those
painting?
I bought from the books that are on the mantle were a Planetary Dog Toys thing, I think.
Oh yeah,
so I
yeah,
painted those up. But then most of the books in the shelving are dollhouse books that I bought from Etsy or something. There's a company called I can't remember the name. They make it's like Tiny Things or something like that. They're on Etsy. They made that chair. They make these little like the drawers with all the little rolled up papers in them and stuff. They're really cool. I don't know where I got the frame. I can't remember. It might have been another dollhouse thing. But I think that bust came with like a jar of just like little stuff. Like it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I always try and get the clock in there. But so I bought a like 4-poster dollhouse bed, and that's all you see of it in the foreground. And I'm not even sure people even recognize it as that. But
I didn't know you said it. Yeah,
I noticed it. It was like okay, it's like coming.
I had drapery on it that I spent a lot of time ironing to make it look like it was, and it took over.
It's in the way, yeah.
Too much of the photo, so I left them out.
That bed, like, how does it fit figures? Have you is it
not great? It's a dollhouse bed, which the dollhouse stuff is just a little, especially for Mythic Legions, it's a little too small. Like you could get.
I've been looking for a bed for a long time.
SHF will fit in it probably pretty well, but like anything bigger than that, it looks weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Ray Paz saying he missed out. You can still pre-order the Skeleton 4-pack, the next one that's coming out on Big Bad. I know for sure.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
just as nice.
It's a pre-order, but if you're interested.
Yeah, I had to scroll back up because I saw Ray mention that, and I was like, wait, where did Mythic Dolphin drop something that he was saying that for? So yeah, it was available through Store Horseman for pre-order. Through October and through all the authorized retailers, like it was a simultaneous thing. I'm not sure how many of the authorized retailers are still taking pre-orders, but Big Bad Toy Store, as being a bigger retailer, tends to order more, so they'll have that pre-order up.
They still had it up. I saw it on there like yesterday. So
yeah, they order overflow, right? So. And like even with my sister, when she got her retail exclusive Headless Horseman figure, it was through Big Bad Toy Store, and the leg broke straight out of the package. So she contacted Four Horsemen. They told her, well, that's retail exclusive. We don't have extra of that to replace. And guided her like, oh, you ordered from Big Bad Toy Store. Reach out to them. They actually carry replacement stuff. So
And they're like really good about replacing stuff or giving you store credit or whatever.
right. And you really don't want to miss out on that skeleton 4-pack, because although it's a different color from what most of their skeletons look like the little skull masks that come with it look amazing. Besides, you're going to want that ashen gray for when you get your dragon and he's torching everything. You're going to want those skeletons.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, did you add a little bit of smoke to the inside of the chimney there of the fireplace?
Yeah, that's actual like the little fog machine that I have. You just
Nice.
pop it in there, and it sometimes you get lucky and it looks good.
Yeah, it looks
Well,
good.
that does look really good right there, especially with the way that the chair's like blocking out that mid portion. You get the glow from the fire, and then you see that little bit of foggish smoke up at the top.
Yeah, and I feel bad because that's a Carver Customs. He made that log set for me, and it looks really good. I just, I
But you got to cover the fog machine to get the fog in.
Well, no, that's I just squirt it in there and then just take the shot as
okay.
it's dissipating, so you don't have to have it right in there. Yeah, it just
Nice.
post, but it's a nice log set. I think it made it into the Marley shots.
One of the Marley shots.
Yeah, I think so.
Adam, you always say
Yes.
you don't need any of this. The question is,
What kind of
do
question is
you want this? And that answer is absolutely yes. Go buy it now. If you want it, I think they've still got, it just refreshed. They've still got all-ins. I don't know if you're going to go for the all-in, but look, this will tell you right here. The fact that Kenny bought another Figura Obscura. Right. Yeah, if you don't need them. But
yeah,
$60 is a great deal for this, for everything.
Just
get.
look at it. Yeah. Look at her. Look at her.
Look how cool that crown is.
Yeah. I love that. I really, really love that. And Trevor, again, your photos with adding the light to the top really brings that out. Like, so good.
Yeah, there's a fine line between, it's supposed to be very bright, and they did a great job of depicting it on a figure that doesn't have any, light to it. But again, maybe somebody could wire up her head too. Who knows? So you don't want to go too far. Obviously the black on black shots show you how it is, but this is what it can look like.
Marley's still available, Adam.
I was about
you
to
can
say
still get
now.
Marley.
You can get both together.
Yep, $60 for Marley too.
Adam, today is your day. Like, go ahead. Or if you want to, go to eCollectibles, talk to Mike, and get the retail exclusive Marley. Although, you know what? Go for the Haunted Mansion look, too. Like, if you're going for that, go Haunted Mansion all the way. Actually,
those colors look so vivid on the retailer exclusive Marley. Like, I was really surprised.
I'll still harp and joke about how bummed out I am that it doesn't glow, but at the same point in time, it still looks really good. So it's hard to be that disappointed.
I mean, it's painted to where it looks like it's glowing. It's just not going to glow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I hung my salesman hat up a long time ago, but if any company ever wants to hire me out for selling, I'll go. Well, look, the Marley's
NECA might be looking for somebody.
They need a whole PR team.
Look, I have a reputation to uphold, and I ain't touching that crapshoot.
But you love aliens.
Sorry, NECA.
Again, you know what? No, I'm just going to go talk. I'm going to go dig Geiger up, and we'll talk to him about it. I'm going to go to the source of what I love about that alien, not the actual alien itself. But yeah, there you go. You know what? Go get yourself the translucent Marley, even if it's only the boots, legs, and lower portion of the coat. They beautifully.
That's my favorite. I picked up the Haunted. I'm a completist, so I have to. But I prefer the original over the Haunted Mansion colors.
I do too.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
been able to compare them side by side yet, but
right. I've seen pictures, but I can't have the side by side comparison. And I've always said that, in all honesty, like, again, with the fully colored version, I've heard from people, I haven't tried to paint over a translucent because I think that's almost a crime. But before, painting over those translucent boots, if you were buying extras for, customs and all like that, probably easier to paint over the solid colored retailer version than the translucent plastic.
I didn't paint the boots, but that jacket was a pain in the ass.
I can imagine.
I believe it.
The flexible, like, rubber.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Look, I'm not trying to sell you anything, Dylan. I'm just reminding you that you already know you need to buy something.
Dylan, you already bought it.
Right? And look, if anything, I'll just go out later. I'm going to get a picture of Robo and I'm going to Photoshop this in, and that'll sell you instantly. So,
Boom.
enabled.
Boom. Robo-enabled.
I love it. And NECA's Lone Dragon saying NECA needs a lawyer. I guarantee you they got a team of them already and have had. Robo where? There it is.
Tossing his hair back as we speak.
Yeah.
Right. You can't say, oh, Thanos did it for us. Wow.
All right, boys. I got to jump.
Yeah,
Maybe
for
do
sure,
this all
Trevor. You
day
got
long.
a busy schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, if
Could be
you
on
want to
YouTube
join
all
us
day. My
later
wife's
for the
gonna love
second
that.
release, but
Yeah,
I totally
maybe
get it.
we'll see how it goes. If I'm still awake, because like I said, my dog kept me up all night and I had to get up early, and so whatever.
Yeah,
But maybe we'll see. If I'm awake,
All right,
I will
brother.
definitely jump on and see how it's going.
sounds
yeah.
good. I'll make sure you get the link.
Go bye. Bye.
Later, man.
Bye.
Right?
Bye.
We need
Yeah.
to see
Thanks
this
for
thing.
stopping in, Trevor. Good seeing you, man.
See you guys later.
Yeah. Which honestly, guys, it's about a little after 11 o'clock here. So we're at 3 hours and 30 minutes for a morning live stream. That's a pretty good clubhouse cafe.
My wood stove's going out and my feet are freezing, so I'm with you guys on that one.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up for now. But you can catch us here at 7:30. Well, whoever jumps on at the start tonight, we're gonna be going live 7:30, shortly before the second drop tonight. We're gonna recap a little, and most of that recap is just gonna be briefly saying, go watch this morning's live if you want all the other stuff, and then we're gonna find out who else picked up Figura Obscura today,
And who else we can sucker into?
One of us.
Can't use terminology like sucker.
Yeah, I'm a terrible salesman.
That's okay. I got your back, buddy. I'll make up
But
for it.
The figure sells itself, so
It does.
Really does. And I want to say most people, once they get a Four Horsemen figure in hand, especially the Figura Obscuras, it's usually all over.
You're welcome, Kenny. And see, this is the best part too, because once you see that other people are doing it, you're going to do it too. And that's not FOMO. You just want to be one of us, like Joe was saying.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's on them. And there's a thing about that too, and I've said it on other multiple streams. Again, the thing that people are saying illegal, or that NECA is doing that's illegal, it's not illegal. That FTC guideline does not apply to this situation. So it's a whole different thing. First all-in is sold out now. So there we go. We stayed live until the all-in was sold out. I feel like we've done our job here. See y'all later tonight, folks. Take care.
Later, everybody.